wait until we are live. Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do 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 do.
Phenomena.
Okay, you know, love me.
I'm charging my attack.
Huh.
Copy Linko, then open Linko and don't.
All right, so it does
Oh my
appear as though
god,
we're live.
oh my god, that is a lot.
It looks like a lot. Don't worry about it. That's just for stuff
Alright.
you fill out. So we're not even going to bother with anything on the sheet at first. But let me just start out with the description of what we're doing. So, hello everyone who may or may not be watching the stream. My name is Josh, and we are going to be creating some characters in Star Wars, in the Star Wars RPG. I've got a little image in the bottom right of the stream with the 3 different versions that there are: Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny. This is basically a tabletop role-playing game. Now, all of my lovely people in my voice chat here, who here has ever played any type of tabletop RPG or tabletop game?
No, but I've watched.
You've watched?
Seen.
Seen?
Never.
So no one's actually played a tabletop
lovely.
game.
Jeez. Fresh meat.
So, the newbie corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for anyone who is not completely familiar with how a tabletop RPG goes, it's basically, and I love how Dan Harmon describes it. So that is what that is the same way that I'll describe it. It's a type of collective storytelling where I'm usually the game master or dungeon master if you do more D&D, but since this is Star Wars, it's usually game master. The game master builds the world and is basically the person who says how and what can be done or sets the scene and things like that. The players, on the other hand, are exactly what they sound like. They are players. They have characters like the ones we'll be creating today.
Question.
And yes,
We could put any age, right?
yes, you can put any age. It will need to. I mean, obviously, it'll be the age of your character, so it's going to need to play in somehow. But yeah, no, it's not like it has to be like your age or anything like that.
Like some weird
No, I'm
psychic
making
baby
sure.
that's been-
Yeah. The age is just whatever age you want your character to be.
Alright.
But all these stats on the let me go ahead and pull it up in stream as well. So they were just mentioning before the stream that this looks a little
Uneasy.
complicated. I promise you, it's really, really not. There's a lot of words, but you only need to know a little bit.
I'm
And
kind of puzzling myself.
yeah, don't. So the sheet is gonna come in later.
Okay.
Let me see if there's anything on the sheet that we'll need at the beginning. I don't think there really is. Yeah, so there's not really much that we'll be doing with the sheet at first, because the way we normally start is with character backgrounds. So, I know some of you were saying you're not totally familiar with Star Wars, or not as familiar with Star Wars. So, I'll start with this. For the game that we want to play, there are 3 versions. So let me go ahead and hide the character sheet for now on the stream. There is Edge of the Empire, which would... so how many of you have seen the show Firefly?
I have not.
I have seen it.
Okay. Cowboy Bebop.
I have seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am not the biggest fan of the show.
But you've seen it.
I'm not intimate with it. Yeah.
Wait, is this show on like Disney XD?
What?
I hope not.
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop is one of the most well-known anime in existence.
Oh my god! I love that book. Well,
Look.
manga.
It's the show where the guy says, "I love the type of woman who can kick my ass."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that goes bang and falls flat on his face on the edge of the stairs.
Spoilers. I mean, I know it's
Hey.
old, but I mean, come on.
We didn't say what episode.
Say.
That's true. But yeah, so
Spoiler, but not an episode
Yeah.
spoiler.
But
Plus, it did.
so shows like Firefly or like Cowboy Bebop follow kind of a band of renegades just kind of doing jobs for hire and being scoundrels or gambling or what have you. So Edge of the Empire is based around characters like that: scoundrels, outlaws, bounty hunters, things like that. People who are exploring the outer rim of the galaxy, essentially the wildlands, if you will. So there's a lot of like dealing with crime syndicates. There's dealing with gangsters. There's searching for treasure, things like that. Age of Rebellion is exactly what it sounds like. It's people who fight for the rebellion, and so it's based around doing missions for the rebellion, finding or protecting people, getting secret plans, kind of like Rogue One and things like that. And then finally, Force and Destiny is about the survivors and or students of survivors of the Jedi Massacre. So the Empire believes that all of the Jedi, save for Obi-Wan and Yoda, who they were never able to find, they believe all of the Jedi to be dead. But in Force and Destiny, it has some of the survivors who are hiding out and trying to carry out whatever mission that they wanted to carry out or feel necessary to carry out, or even maybe just surviving. Um, so there's all of those, but we can also do a combined campaign where we have some people from each version, and we come up with a story that combines all of them. For example, a really good example of all three of them combined is actually the show Star Wars Rebels. Has anyone seen Star Wars Rebels? That one was on
Exactly.
Disney
No.
XD.
I
Yeah,
will
I
say
think I
from
saw.
now, outside of the movies, I am not familiar with
Okay, I'm done
Star
with.
Wars, with the
I think I've
EUs
seen like an
or
Life
episode.
is
books.
hating me.
The only thing I know intimately is that game Rebel Assault 2.
Okay, not quite. So Star Wars Rebels is it's set like 3 or 4 years before the events of A New Hope, and it follows a kind of a band of thieves um, who go out and they do missions, they steal things, they do what they can to mess with the Empire and things like that. But some of them are also working to help start this new alliance of rebel cells, the Rebel Alliance, if you will, which it takes a few seasons for it to actually become the Rebel Alliance, but they start off as people who are just like, well, we rebel, we want to do damage to the Empire, but we also got to make a living. There's also the fact that two of the main characters were force sensitive. One of them was a Jedi who survived, and the other one was his Padawan. So that's actually a really good example of how you combine everything. Whereas some of the crew were directly involved with the rebellion, some of the crew were just there for the, you know, the outlaw stuff, and then you had the Jedi. So that's a way that we can combine all of those, or we can just choose one of the three.
Okay.
I'll go with whatever.
Bounty
I'll
hunter.
go with
So
Rebellion. That's
confusing.
the only one I managed to get through my head.
What was that?
I'm picking
Uh,
bounty hunter.
So you want to be
I
a
said,
little band of rebels, little band or not rebels? Sorry, a
yes.
little band of I don't know, outlaws.
Mercenary.
Yes.
I think mercenary is actually a class. Let me double check.
Oh, copper.
It
Um,
doesn't say much. So
okay.
I'm picking bounty hunters. Just the
what would you
fact that I
consider?
love how most of the bounty hunters just like destroy or kill a person. Just the many tactics that they use. It's just
Tactics that would be
marvelous.
What
murder.
would you? How would
Yeah.
you consider that guy played by Donnie Yen?
um,
Fudge. What is a
What was his character?
you keep going through the character sheet when we're not there yet. I told you we're not going to be using that yet.
Oh, well, is it bad enough that I'm using the character sheet and I'm doing the character sheet?
You can try doing the character sheet, but there are going to be things that we're just not going to get to until we're ready, because I don't want it to be too confusing. So we know
Oh
that.
no, I'm just doing the basics.
Okay. Well, if
I'm
it,
just doing the
Don't
basics.
touch anything.
Hair,
Okay?
it's like put,
age,
Stop.
Talking.
gender, height,
No, just stop,
eyes.
please.
oh my goodness.
I guess I'll be an outlaw. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong. They're neither with the rebels or the Empire.
Right, they're just kind of they're there for themselves. They are out to make a buck, and or sometimes there's actually a class called colonist, and the colonist is someone who's just out there to explore. So they're not out there to make a buck, but they end up having to go with this crew of renegades in order to explore the outside world or find a new place to colonize, or something like that.
Oh.
I think
Correct.
if I was to pick one, I think I'd be an outlaw.
Outlaw, rebel.
So I think we're kind of all in agreement with outlaw at this point.
Yeah.
So,
Probably.
all right. So that would mean edge of the empire. So the first thing we're going to start with is character backgrounds. So kind of where did your character come from? Did they come from money? Were they poor and destitute? Let me see. Let me actually get to that page real quick. It's on page 36. Do 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 ba da ba da ba be dee boo bop.
Shooby doo wap wap ba doo bop.
I'm the scat man.
Jamon.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Good lord. We're all such nerds.
Not my world.
I mean, who doesn't want to be a nerd? That's the question.
I mean, depends on what your definition of nerd is.
I mean,
Yes, nerds
geeky
about different
gamers,
Like,
anime
hey, you love video
lovers.
games? Nerd.
Can't you be all that without being a nerd?
You can
I
actually.
don't
So
consider
to
myself
me,
a nerd.
a nerd is someone who is passionate. So someone who's really passionate about something and therefore does as much like research or ends up knowing a lot about that thing.
So how come we don't have people? We don't refer to anyone as a quote unquote sports nerd.
We do.
We call
we
them
do. I've never
jocks.
heard.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
no, jocks
no,
don't
jock
always
has a
know everything
connotation.
about a sports game, but there are sports nerds. Like people
I
who are
mean,
like,
jock. The word jock refers to, at least from the context I've heard it being used, are, yeah, they are athletic, but they're also a-holes to other people. They're kind of
a-holes
bullies.
and not incredibly knowledgeable about things, or at least not appearing to be incredibly knowledgeable. So the sports nerds would be the people like, well, it's this rule, this rule, this rule, and this rule.
I mean, I could talk
And
about football with all you guys till the cows come home. And I'm talking about soccer.
well, right, what the rest of the world calls football.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend the whole day talking just about Cristiano Ronaldo.
Can.
I guess you'd be a sports nerd.
Because I don't really know names.
Okay, so I'm gonna start reading the little blurbs about the different types of backgrounds, and you can decide what kind of background you want your character to have.
Okay.
So we'll start with the down and out. The player may decide that the character comes from a humble or hardscrabble beginnings. Perhaps he was a moisture farmer on some barren world, an indentured servant working for the huts, or abandoned from a young age to survive in the depths of Coruscant's underworld. This character starts out knowing that life is nasty, brutish, and short, and probably has seen more than his share of horror. He may have seen friends and family members die from malnutrition, disease, or violence, and witnessed tremendous injustice done to the weak or vulnerable. Or you could go with the middle class. Sometimes a character comes from modest but comfortable conditions prior to entering a life of adventure. The character and his family did not come from vast wealth, and they know the meaning of hard work to get ahead. This middle class background may be the hardest of all to leave, for the character had a taste of the good, or at least decent, life, and finds that getting into adventuring is harder than it appears. You could also go with the high and mighty. As the saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Even characters from high social standing, great wealth, or an existence of comfort can still be subject to the whims of fate and find themselves cast out from the life they once knew. This fall from grace could come in many forms: scandal, poor business decisions, war and revolution, or revenge from enemies. Regardless of the method, the character is irrevocably wrenched from his world and cast into the murky shadows of Edge of the Empire. And the last one we could go with is the outsider. A character coming from this background came from a society outside of the galactic norm. This includes isolated planetary systems not yet marked on the maps, prison colonies, or even the rare case of a character growing up in solitude out in the wilderness. The character is probably ill-informed about or completely unaware of the politics, customs, and even technology of the rest of the galaxy. He may be superstitious of the strange sights around him or embrace the wonders that he encounters.
Damn.
So,
Uh,
what kind of
I'm
backgrounds are we
conflicted.
thinking? Poor, middle class, high class, or outsider?
I'm conflicted between middle class and outsider,
Mm.
but depending on what
Same
everyone else
here.
picks, will depend for this. I'll pick based on whether we could get some variety in there.
Okay.
See, those are the two I'm torn between too. I like the idea of middle of the road, but I also like the idea of the Castiel being super new to everything and that creating a lot of comedy.
You have reached the voice mailbox of.
I'm sorry, why do you want me to say my name?
Excuse
I
me.
That
think
would be
it's not
totally an
topical.
Uncle Crow thing.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, I feel like
I
I'm
don't
gonna
understand
be-
that reference.
Because Uncle Crow is always drunk.
That's
No,
true.
no.
It's
That's-
either
it's
that
Cass
middle
says that
class,
all the
high
time. I
class.
don't understand that reference.
So what was the first option? It was
Uh,
poor, middle class,
It's-
high class,
yeah,
outsider.
yeah.
Yeah, poor,
I'm
middle
gonna mute myself
class,
now.
high class, outsider.
Think outsider and poor for my character.
have to
Okay,
pick
I
one,
gotta
what would it
do.
Yeah, so you
Won't
gotta
have
pick one
enough
because
money for
the
food.
the down and out just means that you were poor. The outsider can include being poor, but you'd still just be the outsider background. So you gotta choose one background.
Damn it, I'll take the
Jeez.
poor one.
I'm gonna take middle class.
All right, we got one poor, one middle class.
Okay, what's say, lady say? What are you taking?
Whoa, who took middle class?
I
Fry
did.
pan.
Want it.
Okay, you know what then? I'll take high and mighty,
Alright.
just to be
Then I'll
different.
take.
Damn!
I'll
Put me
take
in my
outsider.
place, why don't you?
Alright, so
Well, that also means it's going to be really hard for her character once adventuring starts because she's so used to not being in squalor conditions, and now she's going to be in adventure where she has to steal and shit.
Do my own
Yeah.
laundry.
That's fine.
Do my
Don't
own
worry.
laundry.
we got outsiders and poor people. We'll be
A
Let
real
me know.
masterpiece.
So I guess, yeah, it sounds like,
Well then.
Someone joined. Who joined?
It is I.
Josh is in hell.
You!
it's,
Leo.
yeah, it's Neo.
the version of John.
Well, I think Neo missed just about everything up until
Yeah,
this point.
They probably
So,
did.
We're picking Star Wars
yeah,
characters.
we're
Neo
making
is-
Star Wars characters. And we're streaming,
Well then.
so you are on YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, and DLive right now.
Oh, okay.
So just so you know,
So you won't kill us.
So let's take
Why
a
did
look.
they put it on YouTube?
Why would I do that? I like you guys.
Oh no, it's a figurative speech.
Well, I mean, if you want to stay here in Star, go to tabletop chat and click the link. It'll give you a piece of paper. Lots of things.
Yeah, so I put the character sheet that we're going to be using today in the tabletop chat. We actually haven't gotten to the part where we need to write anything down per se on the character sheet, but that's what we're going to be filling out to make your characters.
Like
Me.
for his story and everything.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah. So have you ever played anything like D&D, Pathfinder, any tabletop RPG?
Does
Uh,
100% OJ count?
It's okay.
no, I actually haven't.
Okay.
Okay,
Have
we
you ever role played?
As much as it pains me to say it, yes.
Okay, so this is essentially, I mean, it's RPG, a role playing game. The
Yeah.
only difference is there are rules and a game master. So I can tell you whether or not you can do something, but also there will be points where during the game, you'll say, I want to do this, and I roll some dice and say, well, you did it, but you also stubbed your toe.
Do we need our own dice for this?
No, so it's actually a specialty type
Sounds
of
interesting.
die. So when it gets to the point where we can roll dice, I'll give you all the option of just having me roll the dice, or I can get you an online tool that will roll the dice for you.
I have an app
Yumi-
for it.
Yumiko knows best that dice are not nice to me.
Yes,
Oh,
but
hell yeah.
okay. So here's the
OJ,
thing.
you.
Here's the thing about this system, though. It doesn't use the normal D20 dice. It has its own special dice. The only D20 dice that I'm using are percentile dice. So I've got two D10s that will be rolling for certain parts of this. But the Fantasy Flight Games, which is the brand that makes this game, made their own proprietary dice. So those are the dice that would normally be used when role-playing the game.
So, like, do we have to
Mhm.
make up like a sheet and everything? Oh, wait, I found it.
Yeah. So you'll get the sheet, and right now we're just choosing backgrounds. So the options we have are you could have grown up as a poor kid, maybe on one of the outlying worlds. Let me see this again. Or like maybe in Coruscant's ghettos or something like that. You could have been middle class, where the way of hard work, and your family came from modest means, but you did live rather comfortably. And maybe adventuring is a little bit more difficult than you thought. The other option is the high and mighty, the upper class. Somehow you so just to let you know, we did choose Edge of the Empire, which means this campaign is going to be based around like a crew of miscreants, essentially. So it's a crew of people who are together for whatever reason, running jobs, and you've seen a Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
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 So just like imagine that, like that scenario, if you will. Oh, and Orphan joined. Oh yeah, Orphan. Just so you know, we're making characters, and it's all on stream. I don't know if you want to participate or not today, so I contacted you just in case. There are a lot more people in here than I originally thought there would be.
Who's the
Well,
most
I just saw you guys in the general chat, and I was like, I wonder what they're doing. And then I
Hmm.
get a notification for YouTube, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, the thing,
Orphan
the
seems
thing that is occurring.
The thing
Yes.
that is occurring, but
Oh goodness me.
I think this is the most I've seen.
I think so, and all because I decided to stream randomly today. But anyway, so yeah, so the high and mighty again is like the upper class, and the upper class can basically they started out really strong, but maybe they're political enemies or something happened to make them fall from grace, and they've landed in this crew of
I
miscreants now.
remember. I remember watching videos about like all the different paths you can take in that one Star Wars
good.
multiplayer game,
Hmm.
and I was most interested in
All right, how do we proceed
the
from this point on?
like pacifist Sith path,
Oh,
like
okay. So
where
that's that
they
that that's a different game.
yeah, I know.
So there's gonna be different stuff here. So basically, You can choose poor, middle class, upper class, or outsider. And outsider would mean like you're from some boony world that's,
You don't know Jack Dilly squat about the norm.
yeah, you don't know
Wait,
about the norm. You
player.
don't know about the universe at large, really.
What does
just
the
don't know about
player
anything.
part of the sheet do? Like, is
Hmm?
it just the number
I
of
ain't touching that yet.
how we
Oh,
go?
pardon me. Sorry, I don't know why I had Josh.
Oh, the player is just
Josh.
your name.
Oh,
I had Josh is in hell. I had him muted for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, that's really weird. Yeah. So, yeah, he
that's
was talking.
hurtful.
I don't know why. I
Oh,
have no
no.
reason to mute you. I don't know why.
Well, anyway.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Let's just keep
so
going.
yeah, so those are the backgrounds that you're trying to choose from. So from some boony off-world, not knowing anything about anything, maybe you're streetwise and you were brought up in the ghettos, or something like that. That kind of background. So once you've determined that, I think most of us have. Let's go ahead and just kind of sound off. We'll start at the top of the chat and go down. So start with you, Cryfan. What background did you choose?
I am a middle class. Oh,
So you're middle class. Okay.
yes.
All right. And Dark?
I am an outsider.
Outsider. Cool. High, upper class. Orphan? Did you want to participate?
Orphan. Oh,
I think
bleeding
Orphan is having
abortion.
problems
What's
with
your
his
background, sweetheart? No.
Hang on,
Yeah,
there we
I
go.
think you might be having. Oh, here we go.
No, I'm back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
barely.
But, Bailey?
Oh, no,
What about
that's
now?
better.
It's getting-
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I just woke up, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, not just, but.
So
Oh.
sorry to wake you up. Here's some Star Wars.
Here's some Star Wars.
Unlimited power!
I swear, if my girlfriend
stays
wakes me up
crunchy,
and just
even in
goes, "Hey Josh, here's some Star Wars," I'd be like, "God, I love you." Actually, she hasn't seen Star Wars,
Like
and so
cookies
I'm gonna have
shaped
to
in the-
change that at some point.
Like shape of Yoda's head.
But anyway, so
Like me with Gundam.
we'll come back to you, I guess, on that.
Yeah.
Yumiko. What
I'm
was
a poor bitch.
you was a poor bitch. Yeah.
Oh, cool, bitch.
Okay, so we have our backgrounds, kind of
You're like
where
that.
we came from initially. So
Yumiko.
the next
This sheet
thing that
is
we're going
so
to determine,
complex.
and let me go ahead and
My God, the sheet.
I
Yeah,
know,
no,
right?
No, again, so it looks like a lot. It really does, but it's not. I promise. And that's why I said, do not worry about it. Just have it
Yeah.
ready.
Worries about it.
Maybe
Like,
it's just because you don't read.
I'm just wondering which parts I have to fill out before we even begin.
None
Probably
of them. None of them. Don't touch anything on it at all right now.
Just stare at it and confuse
So
Not even
basically, it's not that you have to put a lot of things in here. There's actually only like 5 or 6 things you need to fill out on there.
I love it.
But we're getting there. So because a lot of these things are just like they're the same thing, just for different reasons. Like it's
Ah, I
the same, like all your different skills. You do the same thing for all of them, but it's different for each skill. You know what I mean? So we'll get there. I promise. We'll get there. So we have our backgrounds. We know kind of where we came from, and I'm gonna put up a reference sheet on the stream. Let's get a new display capture.
Is it there? Oh yeah, it's there.
I'm just staring at pictures.
So let's do.
When you have the bad case of like yes,
Bad case.
Okay.
That's-
bad case of the yes.
The
Like when you say yes.
I
to-
love that band.
Anyway, So I'm
That
I'm just
occasionally
showing
is.
the reference sheet that I'm using. This reference sheet was actually originally made back when this game was in beta, and that's the first time I ever played it was when it was in beta. This was I think it was actually still no, it had just come out of beta when I GM'd it for the first time, and it was the first thing I ever. It was the first type
Oh,
of
so
campaign
this
I
is
ever
like
ran.
an actual existing
Yes,
Dungeons and Dragons Star Wars thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stupid.
Ah, who joined?
Who
Why
joined
are
us?
so
Who
many
dis?
people joining?
Oh,
I
bagels.
feel like it's
Oh,
Oh.
what's up,
who
Bagels?
is this Chinese character?
It's Bagels.
I am not.
Oh, it's
Bagels.
I'm sorry, not Chinese, Japanese. God damn it.
It's Bagels!
Hi.
Hello,
Okay,
bagel.
Ninja.
Okay, so let's see. Orphan will be back in just a little bit, so we'll continue with this character creation. Um,
Oh,
Oh.
how does this work, by the way?
We're making Star
We're
Wars.
making a
yeah. So we're
Dragons
making
at
things.
Star
So
Wars
first
sheet.
things first, go ahead and download the character sheet. And we kind of just
Where's-
got started because I've had to re-explain things like 3 times.
Oh, how do I download this character?
It go to
Go to
tabletop.
chat.
Yep.
Click the link.
What link?
It's the pinned link.
Oh, it's pinned.
Yeah. And that once you've
Well-
downloaded it, don't worry about it.
Well, I guess it makes sense that this is a real thing considering it's in tabletop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically, since we're making OCs, you have backgrounds for your characters. So you're either poor, middle class, high and mighty, or an outsider. Okay, so just pick a background for your character, and we'll be up to date. It's really not that complicated.
I mean, it's not complicated.
But when you look at it, and
How do you go get
Yeah,
me?
it looks really complicated, but like I said, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff.
complicated if you're the kind of
Don't have to fill out anything now.
no,
Okay.
don't
Okay.
touch things. Yeah,
Good. Good.
Okay.
good.
How do I
Good.
copy this into
Damn
like,
me and
doc?
cleaning my room again.
Mhm.
Hey, how do you import this into a
Into what?
into like a
Just,
Google
I
Doc?
mean,
So I
Okay,
can-
bagels,
so I can fill
bagels.
it out when we get
You
to
can
that.
actually edit this PDF. I literally have it opened in a Google Chrome browser. and
I have
actually-
Edge.
Download
Oh,
Acrobat
God.
Reader DC.
that's how it works.
He's on Edge. That's his problem.
Yes.
Like search
Hey,
PDF
Hey,
Reader.
Internet Explorer Chan is my waifu, and I respect my waifu.
Okay, Internet Explorer Chan was
Oh, Lacey,
adorable
shut
and
your-
made me feel bad for not using Internet Explorer, and then I remembered I'm on Mac.
Oh,
And then I remembered Internet Explorer is awful.
Are you really talking about internet kajinkas now?
yes.
I mean, apparently. But anyway, so what kind of background are you thinking for your character? Poor, middle
Wait,
class,
wait.
high class, or outsider?
So what are the advantages and disadvantages?
So with the poor, you kind of get raised in the ghettos, and your view on life is shit. Life is hard, and
Yeah, for real.
yeah.
That's a
So
lot of
basically,
cons.
most
Where's
teenagers today.
Where's the pros? Like what?
The
what
the
is-
pros are, well, because you've existed in this world, you're probably the most knowledgeable about like the underworld and things of that nature.
okay.
And how
Oh, I
these things
get,
work. And in the
so I
campaign
get,
we're
like, an-
yeah, in the
get, like, an
campaign we're
intelligence buff?
deciding to go with, we're all going to be a band of renegades. So basically, like renegades, thieves, that kind of thing.
Who would be the bad guys in this game? Would like
I mean,
we
the-
fight
the-
anyone?
Like the people out to get
I-
you. I mean, the Empire.
I don't. I don't
Yeah,
really
I was
wanna
thinking, is it
download
the
more
Empire?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
mean,
the First
'cause-
Order or the Sith? Like,
Well, it's
I
the
don't have
Empire
enough
because this is
space.
during Empire times.
ah, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Good.
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 Okay.
Good.
Okay. Stop it.
Good.
Stop it right
I
now.
don't think we can.
All right. So the next part, once you've chosen your background, is we're gonna go with something called obligation. So everyone's gonna have a certain amount of obligation to go with. Now, determining obligation is a little bit random. This is the first time I'm going to be rolling dice tonight. So, an obligation type would be something like addiction, betrayal, blackmail. You can kind of see it on the stream.
Oh boy.
So,
Hold on, let me pull up the stream. I gotta look at
We
this.
pull up the stream as well. Hopefully,
well, basically, an obligation type is something that you have some sort of obligation to. So, for example, if you got addiction for your obligation, you would essentially, if you had too high of an obligation score, then you would like your character would then be more and more driven to seek out performing this obligation. So addiction, the more obligation points that you have, the more you would end up like trying to find the drugs to feed your addiction.
Yeah.
And the more preoccupied you would be with that.
Wait, Josh,
Yeah.
are like all of them like a bad thing to have a high score in?
It can be. It depends on how the adventure ends up going.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Is that the lower your obligation, the more you can act freely. God. Swear
I like
my.
this. This is interesting. I've never like done tabletop with anybody.
I really enjoy it. It's
Yeah,
basically
so
collective
it's a
storytelling.
first from
So what we're gonna
Hold
do?
on. Let me turn up my mic real quick.
Okay.
yeah.
So anyway, so to avoid making this overly complicated, since it really doesn't need to be, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll everyone's obligation. Unless did someone say they had dice already?
I think that was Saber.
Yeah, but you said you had specialty dice. I'll trust you.
Well, I mean, this is just percentile dice. It's just D100. Like all the dice I'm rolling before the adventure is just 2d10s. So if you wanted to roll your own dice, you could, or you could let me roll it. So I'll start at the top. If you want to go grab a couple d10s and roll for yourself, you absolutely can. Or
I only got a 20.
Or here's an option for people if they want to do the roll themselves but they don't have the dice. One thing that you could do is go to Google and type in roll 2d10. So 2, the letter D, the number 10.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it'll roll for you. It's great.
Okay.
Roll a D.
Oh, god damn it.
And then
So I
use
rolled-
those 2 digits as essentially numbers from 1 to 100.
Oh wait, you guys are talking about rolling dice?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
you get to roll my dice.
Okay.
so
So,
what are we rolling
Cryfan, do you
for?
want me to roll for you, or do you want to roll through Google?
Roll for me.
All right. Oops, that didn't. There we go. Okay. 90, which means responsibility. Let me pull this bad boy up.
Wait, so what are we rolling for?
You're just rolling for a number, and then I'll tell you what that number gives you, essentially. So you're rolling 2d10s.
83.
2d10s?
2d10s.
2. Let D.
2, the letter D, the number 10.
I got a 4.
Is it 0, 4?
Yes.
I got 83.
Okay, well, let's do
Yes,
this
the
one at a
dice
time. Let's do this one at a time. So, Cryfan, you got responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, I just pulled up like a 2d10 thing on Google.
Cool.
Yeah, because I got it up as well, and I had it the first time, but I was like, I'm gonna take my chances.
All right, so responsibility. A character with the responsibility obligation feels a strong sense of accountability or relationship to a person, place, or thing. A responsibility to kin falls under the family obligation described above. This could include a strong connection to a mentor, a strong desire to care for orphans in a given location, or taking the needs of an underrepresented minority.
Okay.
Because like when I first heard responsibility, it's like, okay, so the character's gonna be the not. Let's go. Well,
All right. So which one did I get?
What was your number again?
83.
83. Okay, that is obsession.
Oh boy.
don't
Which,
worry,
by the way, I do think. Let me pull up the. Let me pull up the character sheet again, real quick.
How come my number is so low compared to these?
I'm trying to see if there should be a place to put your obligation on here somewhere.
Oh crap, that's right, it's a tab. Magic. Oh wait, I just realized, by the way, I can edit it apparently.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
we
you
were
can.
telling you that.
Yeah, yeah, I told him this earlier that you can edit the PDF.
Good lord.
yeah, just don't touch it.
Hey, this is not what I specialize in. I specialize in computer security, not computer stuff.
Yeah, I used to do account and computer security. I don't anymore. That's stressful as heck. Yes,
Okay.
actually. So, I think it's at the bottom of the second page. You have obligation type and then a little box for value. So when I give you your obligation, go ahead and type it into obligation type.
Oh, hold on. I'm also blind, by the way, so I can't.
It happens.
You said second page, right?
Second page. So while you're looking for that, I will go ahead and read the definition of obsession. The player character has some unhealthy obsession that tends to interfere with his life, whether with a celebrity, a religion, a political movement, a cultural icon, or some other facet of society or life. He must pursue the. Oh, what's up? Oh, are you just saying me?
Oh, hey, I found it. So,
Oh, good.
what is my obligation type?
Yeah, your obligation type. You were the one with the 83, right?
No, I had 4.
Oh, you had 4. Okay,
Thank
so
you, RNG God, so much for giving me the middle finger.
Come on, I'm pretty sure we all love.
But yeah, so obsession is basically like your nerddom a bit. It's like obsession with a celebrity, obsession with a type of entertainment, obsession with a
Wait, for
cultural
me?
icon or
Stop trying to sugarcoat something like that.
Wait, so I'm just like a psychopath.
Well, it's one of the
You
things where
just
it's like
love some.
you love something so much that you get along great with people who like it and you really enjoy it, but also sometimes you spend too much money on it. You get a little too upset, like when your obligation score
So
is
I'm just
too
a
high.
weeaboo.
Ah,
So I'm just a weeaboo.
So
But
it's
basically.
basically just like
Okay, I
being
was
You're
like
an
like,
a part
otaku
of
in
a
Star
fandom or
Wars.
something like that, but the higher the score goes up, the more it takes control of my life.
Exactly.
okay. So what score do
I'm
I
at-
get?
We'll get to scores in just a second. Because I think
Oh,
everyone's going to start out
wait a
pretty low.
Wait, I have 3 obligation type things
What?
on the paper.
Oh, yeah, you can have more than one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
no,
we're just doing one
we're
for
just
now,
giving
right?
everyone one obligation to start with.
Oh,
But as the
okay.
game progresses, sometimes you can acquire a new obligation. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
think we
all
should,
about how you play the story.
I think we should try to move this faster because we're getting complaints in the chat.
Yeah. I'm trying to. A lot of people have this. Is there crack in this game? Technically, yes. It's called Spice.
Okay.
Lovely.
All right. Anyway, so who had the 4?
I had the 4.
You had the 4.
Bagels.
Okay. So 4 is addiction. So literally, we were just talking about yes, there are drugs in the game called Spice. Well,
So I have
you're
a-
addicted to Spice.
Oh, okay. I thought.
So I'm addicted
F.
to spice.
Well, It could be spice, alcohol, stims, dust. There's a whole slew of different things you could be addicted to. It's just spice is
can I
what
be
comes to
an-
mind
can I
first.
be-
Basically, anything that you can inhale.
Can I
Anything
be
you can
addicted
inhale or
to-
drink that gives you crazy effects.
Okay, I'm gonna be addicted to glue.
Space weed.
Because you can inhale and inject and.
Well, I think that would be. I mean, you can also be addicted to things like gambling, or you could be a kleptomaniac. But anyway, so yeah, I think the
Wait, so
closest thing would
where do I
probably be
put that?
dust.
Where do I put that?
I guess you can put it in. Like, as you type in obligation, maybe just put addiction and then what you're addicted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I just put everything for my addiction? I'm addicted to everything.
No. No, you cannot.
Oh.
Alright, so who hasn't gotten their obligation yet?
Me.
Lady Saber? Lady Saber and
Yes.
Dark, right?
You are obligated to get an obligation.
Okay.
I
Dark
have the
Sharingan.
dice. I just don't know what they mean.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
so
You roll for me.
yeah, so Dark Sharingan, have you rolled on Google? Do you want to roll on Google, or do you want me to roll for you?
You roll for me.
Okay.
yes, clearly we got some lovely results so far.
I got an 83. I'm gonna roll again. We already had an 83.
Good.
60. Family.
Alright.
This character has deep ties with his family that require a great deal of time and attention. This could include providing care for assistance to siblings or parents, the management of inheritance, trust, or family business, or simply mediating between squabbling family members.
Okay.
So you have an obligation to your family. And Lady Saber, what number did you get?
I rolled 2 10s, so I rolled a 20.
Well, it's so that's technically
Or
0
is it a
0,
2? Oh,
or
it's 0,
well,
0.
that's technically 100. Because remember, it's percentile dice. So when you roll two d10s, one is the tens place, one is the. That's why some d10s have like 5-0 instead of just 5.
Okay.
But, yeah, so that actually. So here's what that means.
What'd I do? Okay.
Here's what that means. That means you roll 2 more times, and you're going to
2
get
more
2
times.
obligations to start with.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
There you go.
Let's do it once more. All right. Second one are a 5 and a 10. So
5 and a 10, that
50?
would be 15.
50. 15. Okay.
So wait, are they both just the single numbers, or does one of them have zeros on it?
The 10 has a 0. I mean,
Is it
it's just
okay? So I guess just choose one to be the tens and one to be the ones. I guess
yeah. Okay. I'll just do 15.
15. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So 15. Betrayal. This obligation can work in one of 2 ways. Either the character is the target of a deep and personal betrayal, or the character is the one who betrayed others. Whether it's as simple blah 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 blah. That one's pretty easy to understand. Either you betrayed someone or someone betrayed you.
Okay.
So roll again, and you'll get a second one once you've written that one down.
Okay. Where? Okay.
You
Where do I
alright,
write
buddy?
that down? In the there's my
Me? Yeah.
obligation.
I think she's got like a
Now I
post-it
feel
note.
really stupid.
Scrap down.
Here, I will write this here and move it later.
Okay, that works.
Law. Middle.
And let me roll the other one real quick.
Yep.
A 5 and a 6, so 11
11.
or 56. 11.
Well, no. So it's one is the tens place, one is the ones place. So if you rolled a
56.
5 and a 6, it's either 56 or 65.
56.
56. Okay. 56. Duty bound. The player character has a deep sense of duty that he feels compelled to fulfill, such as military service, making good on a contract, or following some sort of thieves' code. So you are duty bound in some way.
Oof. That's sad. I'm gonna continue eating half of my burrito.
Cool.
Enjoy. Enjoy your meal.
Burritos!
So do I have is my duty number then put into the total duty category, or is it put as part of the total obligation part?
So the values are going to be one per. So at the bottom right of the second page is where your obligations are.
Got
And
it.
so each one has a value. So based on the rules that I have available right now, I think everyone for their obligations is going to start with 5 for the value.
Okay.
So when you type your obligations in, both of them are going to have a 5. So your total obligation is 10.
Okay.
But you have 5 for
Great.
each. So 5 is very low, so it's not really going to play into how you play your characters.
Okay.
I am so confused. I am
It's alright.
confuzzled.
Okay, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. We have the roles now. Dark. I was going to
Yes.
get into an explanation, but I think the best way to do this is just to ask what is confusing you right now.
Okay, I got 60, right? If I
Mhm.
remember correctly. And that's my obligation is my family.
You know what? I'm
or what is it
as
called?
you're filling yours out, I'm going to fill it out for the one I have on the stream with everything that you've got on yours, just for simplicity's sake, and so I have something on the stream that I'm doing. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm seeing total obligation. I thought I put 60 in there, but apparently I'm hearing other stuff.
No, I don't know where you got 60. 60 was the number that you gave me, so that I could find the type. I was rolling on a chart, and because you got a 60, that tells me it's family.
Okay.
So the number you put in the total is the same number you put, because you only have one obligation. The value of that obligation is 5, which means your total is also 5. The only person that's different for is Lady Saber, because she has 2 obligations.
Okay.
But everyone else has 5, and 5 is a very low number, so it's not really going to affect you. So basically, you have deep ties to your family, but it doesn't really affect you right now.
Oh wait, so what value do I got for my addiction?
Everyone has 5 for the value right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Also,
everyone has 5.
Totally unrelated question, but do you have like the Streamlab notification for when somebody donates on like
Yeah, I should.
Okay, I will test it out right now since I am the best.
Okay, sure.
Lemons!
I ain't complaining.
Pat yourself on the back for that.
But yeah, so are we all
Pat.
I'm just looking at these comments.
are we all good on the on what obligation is? Does anyone need any more information about their obligation?
No.
Nope.
I mean, I don't remember mine.
Oh, this is kind of so where did I put my background thing again? By the way?
There actually isn't a place on the sheet. That's just a good way to start out. So when we make decisions later, it'll help us figure out where.
What we want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to like. Does our name have to be something in particular?
Your name?
Yeah, our character.
That's kind of gonna depend on your species, which I think might be next.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's Star Wars. You could name yourself anything.
I was exactly correct. Actually, the next step is choosing your species. So.
Okay. Please be human. Please be human. Please be human. Please be human.
So does first of all, does
pick?
anyone have a species that they really, really, really want to be?
Wait, what species are there?
No.
So there's a lot.
Place to start.
There's a ton. So the
What categories of species are there? I should say.
well, human is one, obviously. Hang on, let me pull up.
Must assume Wookiees in there.
Yeah. So Wookiee was one of the first ones added. So the basic ones from the original Edge of the Empire is Bothan, Droid, Gand, Human, Rhodian, Trandoshan, Twi'lek, and Wookiee. If you know any other species from the Star Wars universe, like the Bith or the Chiss or things like that, I do have stats for those.
A dwarf?
Hmm?
A dwarf?
Dwarves are not a thing, but I can get you something close.
Never mind.
Anything that's short, basically.
Yeah,
Ewok.
the short ones. I mean, you could. I think I have stats for Ewoks.
Is there an elf one?
No,
No.
there is not. It's not fantasy. It's not fantasy. It's Star
Give me a
Wars.
break. I want some fantasy.
Like
Yeah.
there is fantasy in this, but these are not the same as fantasy creatures.
No.
Oh,
God
man.
damn it! I don't have a species other than human.
What about
Star Wars
Zeltron?
fans
Ah,
listening
come
to this are gonna be so angry at Yumiko right now.
I know.
It's Star Wars.
Where's the
Leave me
fantasy?
the fuck alone!
Where's the fantasy?
Hold on. Okay, well, we just have
Uh,
I
one.
don't know.
Fix it, right?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Well, just one question.
I mean,
See if you're safe. Please tell me you don't watch Star Trek, because if you don't watch either of them, then you're safe. You know.
I watch it. It's bomb. I love the
Okay.
Vulcans. The
Oh.
Vulcans are awesome.
I think she just really likes elves.
I do, and the fact that I'm actually role playing as an elf
Josh.
is
What
more
about Zeltron?
awesome than anything.
I think you just like stuff with pointy ears.
Yes, I
yeah.
do.
Which I mean,
Just like-
Just like literally, you could just like imagine if if she did not know what Star Trek was. I bet if you put Spock in the middle of all of them, he would think it'd be an asshole of some kind.
No, I actually know Spock is a Spock. Fuck!
Okay.
You know that person is a Vulcan.
language.
calm yourself.
No, I'm the kind of person who, if Leonard Nimoy was still alive, most people would go up to him and say, Spock, live long and prosper, and all this stuff. I'd be the only person to say, it's Galvatron!
Oh my
can
God,
I
you're
be
right.
Can I be a Twi'lek?
You can. There are both Twi'lek males and females, so
I would love to
everyone
be
thinks of
of
the
the
female
female
Twi'lek
species.
because it's
Yeah.
like a sex symbol,
Yeah.
but
I want to be that. Nothing feels better than chopping people up with those. Like, can you imagine like how much you save on shampoo? just saying.
I'm sorry, what?
It's
Do
not
they
even
use
hair.
shampoo
It's like an organ.
Ugh.
Do they use
Wait,
shampoo in Star Wars?
I can appreciate the joke.
there are equivalents.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry, I blacked out for a second. The hell?
Anyway,
But
so
I
you're
wanna
a
be
Twi'lek.
Okay, how do you spell that? I know that's
TWI apostrophe LEK.
that's what it is. Apostrophe. Yes.
Does anyone? So who here remembers The Empire Strikes Back?
Who doesn't?
Me.
Which one?
At least till they get to the Cloud City.
Well, okay.
The
Okay.
Disney
So
one?
I'm
The
asking
Disney
about
one or the
one.
real one?
So I'm just asking about one particular scene where Darth Vader is talking to the line of bounty hunters about going to
Oh,
find
yes.
Yes.
Han Solo.
Oh, yeah. There was one that looked like a reptile. I like
Yes,
that.
that's exactly what I was getting to. The one that looked kind of like a dinosaur man.
Yeah.
That's a Trandoshan. And that is one of the basic options from Edge of the Empire.
What colors do Twi'leks come in?
All sorts. Usually either green, orange, or sometimes in rare cases white, but it's usually like green, yellow, orange type
Can I-
areas.
Well,
Sometimes
can I be
I've seen blue and white, but those are less common than
Yeah,
green,
can I
yellow,
be
and
hot
orange.
Pink?
Hmm?
Can I be hot pink?
No, you cannot.
Oh, the dream. Okay, fine. I'll just be turquoise.
Okay. That works. So we got a
I love
turquoise
how-
Twi'lek. Dark Sharingan, you sounded kind of interested in the Trandoshan. Did you want to be Trandoshan?
No, I still want to be human.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying I like that thing.
Ah.
But I like how specific information your
What would my height be?
the
Like
the
I
whatchamacallit
don't know.
needs. You've got
Much that.
height, eyes, build, haircut.
Like, you don't... honestly, you don't have to fill all of that out, but you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Um. So yeah. Let me just pull up the
Also, the notification thing didn't work because I
It
gave like
didn't.
3 limits.
I've got the alert box set up. I'll have to check Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Hang on. Get the character sheet back up. So you were gonna be human, right?
Yep.
Dark.
Yeah.
Type. God damn it. Human. All right. So before I get everyone else's race, let's start with the basic stats. So you've got on the first page you got brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower. You see that?
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are your basic kind of your basic traits.
Okay.
Like your base level of brawn, how strong you are, agility, how quick or dexterous you are, things like that. So for humans, you're gonna start with 2 across the board.
Oh.
Okay. Two,
That's
two,
cool.
two, two.
Does that include a force rank?
Force rank, we're
would
not
that be
gonna
different?
bother with until we get to careers.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
so I'll
just
leave
all
that
the way up
blank.
to presence.
I would just put Hitman.
Yeah, just all the way up to presence. Okay. But for the Twi'lek, your brawn is 1 instead of 2, and your
Okay.
presence is 3 instead of 2.
And then everything else is 2.
Everything else is 2.
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna go safe bet with human.
Safe bet with human. Okay, so that's again 2 across the board. Anyone else? What kind of or do you want to hear more about the other
Oh,
species?
just
I
just
wanna
out
be a
of
Zeltron.
curiosity, what would the Wookiee be getting?
Wookiee has
Stats
3
wise.
brawn, 2 everything else, except willpower is 1.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
And sorry, I think someone else was just speaking when you started talking.
Me?
Yeah, I think it was you. What were you saying?
I want to be a Zeltron.
Zeltron.
I'm just gonna like search up like
You
let's
know
see
what?
races in Star Wars so I know what.
Yeah, it's called being prepared.
I mean, I
Oh.
did just kind of spring this stream on everyone.
Hmm.
So
I didn't even notice it was a stream until I saw your Discord thing.
yeah,
You
I just
quite
kind of
literally did. I was expecting something else coming in here, but then I saw my YouTube notifications.
okay. So a Zeltron is not a Star Wars species. Oh wait, no, is it? Is that? Hang on, because this is showing me. This is. Hang on, no, it is.
Sorry.
Why were you giving me nonsense details? The internet was giving me nonsense details, and I'm not happy about it.
Nonsense, YouTuber.
Oh, so
The
that's what these
internet is
things are.
always. The internet is always a dumbass.
Okay, I don't have stats for Zeltron though. That's the problem. We could go with the same basic stats as Twi'lek,
Yay!
given what I'm seeing.
Welcome to the club.
Most of these characters
Twi'leks
are creepy.
are what are they across the board?
Say that again.
What is the Twi'lek again?
Twi'lek. So
I'm saying what are the base stats?
yeah. I'm just pulling that up. I was on a different page.
Okay.
So the Twi'lek from left to right. Oh, here it is. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3. So all 2's in the middle. The one on the left is 1. The one on the right is 3.
Oh, does it vary between like
Got it.
gender as well, or it's
It
just,
does
that's
not,
just for the race?
but
Oh.
what's really cool is once we get everyone's species, and this is where we'll start figuring things out, and here's where you really start customizing your character. Because you have experience points, so once we start getting things figured out, you can spend your experience points to tweak tweak and change different things about your character. So if you wanted to have a 2 brawn instead of 1, you could change that at the beginning. But we'll get there. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So who has not chosen a race yet?
I already picked human.
Human? Okay, so that's, again, 2s all across the board. Anyone else?
Oh crap! I gotta go.
Oh, okay. Bye.
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 And he was never heard from again.
Hmm.
All right. So,
Kill
Sorry, I'm over here interacting.
anyway, okay. So, and now we actually get into your wounds and your strain. So, let me see. Okay, so your wound threshold and your strain threshold. Wounds is basically how much health you have.
Okay.
So this is going to be for all of our humans. It's going to be actually, yeah. So for the humans, it's 10 plus your brawn. So it's going to start off as 12, unless we change that later.
So you put that for threshold, right?
Right.
Current.
Where's threshold?
So at the top left, where you see wounds, the left box is the threshold.
Okay, so what number do I put again?
So if you're human, you put 10 plus your brawn, which is 12. A Twi'lek will also end up being 12 because it's 11 plus their brawn.
5.
Okay.
Basically, put 2
So-
across the board, except for 4 strength.
So yeah, for right now, I think everyone's putting, pretty much everyone is putting 12 on their wounds threshold.
I guess
Wound
so.
threshold is strong with 11.
I guess so.
Okay, and actually both of you, or everyone is going to be putting 13 for their strain, because that's 11
strain
plus
again?
your willpower.
What is strain again?
So, I actually hadn't explained it yet. So strain is like your mental stress.
Okay.
So,
So how long will it take you until you snap?
pretty much. So, like, for example, if someone shot you with their gun on the stun setting, it would eat into your strain. Or if
Okay.
you were doing something very difficult or something else came up and you started straining mentally for one reason or another, that would also increase your strain. And at different levels of strain, like, you'll get disadvantages, or you might, like, collapse out of, like, mental exhaustion, things like that.
Okay.
Okay. And let me see. Where is the experience? Oh, here we go. So, experience points. For now, for both your totals and your available XP at the bottom of the first sheet, everyone's going to put 100.
Experience?
So, at the very bottom, where it says character sheet, on either side it says total XP and available XP.
Okay. So I put,
So, yeah, you're going to put 100 in both of them.
yeah. Okay.
Columbus, poop strain. I mean, if you have a really tough poop, that's probably gonna strain you a lot, and you're gonna be like, "Grr," and yeah. No, I get it.
Thanks for
No,
the
I
mental
understand.
image.
No. This is
Funny.
Haha, ha.
As I slow down.
But yeah, so here is where we start actually choosing what kind of career you want.
Oh god, whatever.
Oh yay!
Okay.
Yay!
So what's available?
Yes.
Oh love.
So, what we have available. So we're gonna start with the career, and then we'll get into what we can do with the specializations. So the base careers: bounty hunter, colonist, explorer, hired gun, smuggler, and technician.
What does the colonists do?
So the
They
colonist,
explore.
well, that's the explorer.
Yeah, so what does the colonists do? They just
I'm gonna
go
go ahead and
search
pull
it?
up that page.
They, well, they
They just
Christopher
colonize.
Columbus the world and hope to colonize some place.
They're just the British Empire reincarnated into Star Wars.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
it's like Christopher Columbus.
The colonist. For the colonist, hang on, here we go. In a way, colonists are the most out of place people in the Outer Rim. They are most often from core worlds where they were well educated and part of the cultural and professional elite. So usually it's going to be someone who chose the high class background.
Oh.
A colonist doesn't tend to have the training to survive in areas of high conflict, and he isn't particularly adept at physical exploits. What he does possess, however, is a keen grasp of the bigger picture, and he usually has both the knowledge to understand problems and the capacity to get them solved. He probably came to the Outer Rim to create opportunities for himself or to find a better life than what he left behind. If he cannot find that better life, he'll apply all of his knowledge to the task of creating it, and he'll use his considerable social skills to gather like minded allies to his cause. And what that means is you actually gain skill in charm, deception, knowledge of core worlds, knowledge of education, knowledge of lore, leadership, negotiation, and streetwise.
Okay.
So those are
Yeah.
different
So
skills that you can have
so
proficiency in or
yeah.
ranks in.
What's the pros and cons like between like bounty hunter and hired gun?
So the bounty hunter is going to be more about finding people and piloting and things like that. So I'll just kind of go through the skills that each of them have. So the bounty hunter, they have ranks in athletics, brawl, perception, piloting, ranged weapons, streetwise, and vigilance. So all things that they would need to chase someone down and gun them down. Whereas the hired gun, if I go and pull that up, the hired gun has athletics and brawl just like the bounty hunter does, but they also have discipline, melee. They also have piloting, but only for planetary, meaning
I
they
think I'll
can
go.
they can fly, but only on a planet.
I think I'll go with bounty hunter on this one.
Ranged weapons, resilience, and vigilance. So the hired gun is literally like mercenary, whereas bounty hunter is someone who goes and seeks someone out, and so their skills are based on those things.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter for me.
What else is there again?
So there's also the explorer, which the explorer is going to have skills like astrogation, which is like navigating the stars, cool, like keeping your cool, knowledge of lore, knowledge of the outer rim, perception, piloting, and survival. So the explorer is more the survival type. They're like the colonist, but less hoity-toity, kind of.
Yep.
And then there was the smuggler, which of course has coordination, deception, knowledge of the underworld, piloting through space, skullduggery, streetwise, and vigilance.
Ooh, I think I want to be a
The
smuggler.
vigilance.
I think
So
I'll be
much
a
to
smuggler.
be uphold.
And then there's the technician, which the technician is exactly what it sounds like. They have skills in astrogation, computers, coordination, discipline, knowledge of the outer rim, mechanics, perception, and piloting around a planet.
Oh wait, this is on career, right?
This is career, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I need to figure
Can
out
we
where...
have multiple careers?
Not to start out
Is
with.
that... Yeah, I mean, like, you know, and
Like over time, yeah, you can start another tree.
okay.
And a bit of a backtrack here.
Yeah.
On the first couple of pages where you have all the twos lined up, should we put that on our paper as well?
Yeah. So, was your race human?
I mean, I guess at this point, yeah, I chose human.
I mean,
Because,
we can backtrack
because
just a little bit and pick you a race
yeah,
if you
because
want.
yeah. Well, what are the races that are available?
So
Unless
we'll just go with the basic races to make it a little easier. Um,
okay,
so we have Bothan, which is kind of like they're kind of like they look dog-like, and they're really good at gathering information. Um, they actually add a rank in Streetwise just by being Bothan. Bothans are really good spies. You have
right,
Droid, which the Droid is the most customizable one,
right,
but it also starts with all ones across the board because
okay,
you can customize it. But still, um, Gand
Many
is let me see. I forget a lot about the Gand. Gans
that
are basically bug people, and they have a lot of willpower. There's human, which is just kind of average across the board. There's Rhodian, which is kind of like remember Greedo?
right,
Yeah, he's a Rhodian. Um,
okay,
Rhodians are very agile. You have Trandoshans, which is like the lizard person from Empire Strikes Back and the bounty hunter scene. He's a Trandoshan. They're very, very strong, but they're not very quick.
okay,
You have Twi'leks, which are kind of the sassy ones. They have a lot of presence, which is basically like charisma. And then you have Wookiee, which that's kind of self-explanatory.
So
okay.
basically, the
So
Twi'leks are Josh.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. That's what. So I'm rift between Twi'leks, Trandoshan, or
So what sounds good to you? You can also
many
like Google
Buffs
the ones that
died
sound kind of
sacrificing
interesting and look and see what they look like or things like
yeah,
that.
I typed in all the ones that you've mentioned. So, like you said, it was so Twi'lek,
Sorry,
Trandoshans,
sorry
or
to
Both.
backtrack
I think I'll
again.
choose Bothans.
Bothan. Okay,
What's the
cool.
Like
what's the
weird dog
threshold
face.
what's the threshold on strain for humans?
13.
Weird, like
Ah,
weird
okay.
dog
Thank you.
face.
And if you change your willpower score, that will change. Just like if you change your bronze score, that will change your wounds threshold. But
All
we'll
right,
we'll we'll get there when we've gotten all the career and race things down,
right.
because that's when we start spending points.
So for the
Okay.
Both,
So we all picked our careers.
Well, I need to give her the stats on the Bothans.
Ah.
all right.
So
Is it Bothun or Bothum?
Bothan, Bothan,
Right.
Bothan.
All right.
So your brawn is actually going to be a 1,
Okay.
and your cunning is going to be a 3. Other than that, it's the same as what you see on the stream.
Okay.
Glumpus says, "Everyone choose Bounty Hunter 2019, the League of Underworld Assassins. Finally, our time has come." I don't
Can
get
you
the
blame us? Assassins are awesome. Mostly
Uh,
bounty hunters.
Yes, and bounty hunter. One of the specializations is assassin. So, have we all chosen our careers yet? Who has not chosen a career? Okay, I'm gonna take that to mean everyone has chosen a career at this point.
Nope.
No?
Was I supposed to pick bounty hunter as a career?
If you want to be a bounty hunter, then yes, you put bounty hunter as your career.
Okay. That one's good. Never
Okay.
mind.
Hi, Josh.
okay. Okay.
Ah.
What the fuck was?
By the way, I know I'm at fault for this too, but we do want to kind of try to watch our language because I did start streaming on Mixer and they're really touchy about swear words.
Oh,
Yeah.
fudge nuggets.
It
You don't know jack diddly squat about nothing.
Hey, you
Oh,
guys
Dark. What was your career again? Did you go with bounty hunter too?
Yeah, I want a Bounty Hunter.
Okay, cool.
All right. So.
Okay.
Oh, I put hitman. Is that the same thing as bounty hunter?
All right. So
We're getting
list
there.
the careers real quick.
So you do want to put bounty hunter as your career because that's the
Yeah.
official name of it.
I know, but I
Yes.
don't know how to spell it.
BOUNTY hyphen HUNTR.
Eyes. Okay. Oh,
Hey
make-
Josh, are you looking at the Discord tabletop chat?
I
Okay.
am
And
not. Give me a second.
A new
real.
prophecy has been revealed by the great bot Mickey.
Wait, what's happening?
Excuse me. By the way, and real quick, list the careers real quick.
Okay, what? Hang on.
Okay.
Will they have an epic battle, but end with a truce? Yes, definitely. Oh my god. The Mickey bot in our Discord server is great. Okay, so once again, the careers that you have an option of are bounty hunter, colonist, explorer, hired gun, smuggler, or technician. And those are the basic careers. We will get into specializations after that.
All right.
All right.
Well, I feel like I could. Let's see. I guess I could do either bounty or technician.
I don't think anyone's chosen technician yet, and I will say technicians are important for a crew.
All right, then I'll take technician.
Okay, so that was Cryfan, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Cryfan's technician. Dark Sharingan is a bounty hunter. Lady Saber, have you chosen a career yet?
Yeah, I was going to do colonist.
Colonist. Okay,
logical.
cool. We have a colonist. That's usually really good. Yumiko, you were a bounty hunter, right?
Yes.
And Bagels.
I'm a smuggler.
Smuggler. Okay, so we've got a pretty balanced team
since I
so
have
far.
Since I have my addiction, I figured it would fit.
That does actually fit really well. That was good thinking. I like it.
Let it be known that Star Wars fans like us are diverse.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to make it the most
I
diverse.
put my addiction as an
I
addiction
don't
to
know what to
weapons.
do
That's okay.
Say that again.
I don't know what to do with the bronze, agility, intelligence.
So I'll get to you in a second. I was asking Bagels.
Oh my god.
I put my addiction as an addiction to weapons.
Okay. So yeah, that I guess that would essentially be like you're addicted to buying new weapons and when you see something you haven't seen before, or
I just take.
Yeah, you take and you want more and more weapons. You keep buying weapons.
Like, buddy,
Well, that means
put
I could-
the turret down. We can't keep carrying your swords for you.
But remember that's not going to play as big of a role in the beginning because your obligation score is low. If that becomes higher during the game, then it'll become more and more of a problem. You'll have less and less ability to resist your addiction to guns or addiction to weapons.
I like how it's just guns.
Guns. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Star Wars, and most of the weapons are guns, although there are vibro swords, vibro knives, electro staves.
Yeah, I will say though, I am.
I think I want the electro staff. Just because
We'll get to equipment in a bit. But Yumiko, what were you saying you were confused about?
Oh, you know how I'm gonna go backtrack,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna regret doing this a little bit. What do I have to do underneath the stats thing?
Which stats
You know
thing?
how
The like brawn, agility, intellect.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're actually just about to get to the point where you can start like customizing that.
Okay.
But we need to get your baseline. So first of all, what species did you choose?
Human.
Human?
I am human.
Okay, so you're gonna put 2s all across the board for that.
Just number 2s?
Just 2s.
Oh shoot, I put it.
All right, and let me see.
Oh no. Oh.
Just leave force rank blank.
Yeah. So we'll get there if we need to. I'm probably just gonna have us leave it blank entirely today. Just not worry about that at all. Also, everyone who is human. I misspoke earlier. So every human, you don't have 100 XP, you have 110 XP. So at the very bottom of your sheet, both the total and the available should say 110.
Is it at the very bottom?
Very bottom of the first page.
Okay. Where am I? God damn it, me.
And then the Bothan is 100 XP, and the Twi'lek is 100.
Okay.
Did we have any other races than those three?
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Dad! Damn it! Oh wait, XP. Duh. There we go. I see.
Anyway, yeah. So all right.
Many
So
Bothans died to bring us this information.
So what total XP do Botham have?
Bothan's 100.
Alright.
Okay. So humans.
These.
Okay, and we've all chosen our careers, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
We never
I,
got our specializations.
So we'll get to specialization in a second. So all humans can add 1 rank to a non-career skill. So we're gonna
Where
have
is
to take
that?
this one at a time for me to be able to talk to y'all about that. So we'll start with Dark because I know you're human.
Okay.
And you were a bounty hunter, right?
Yes.
So I want you to look at the skills down there at the bottom. So it could be over on the left, you have your general skills, survival, streetwise, athletics, things like that. On the right
Okay.
side, you have your combat skills, which is like punching, shooting, using a lightsaber, etc. And then you have your knowledges, what you know about. And then you have that column for ranks. You're going to get 2 free ranks on pretty much any of these except for the ones that come with your career. So let me know a skill that you're wanting to choose, one that you think your character would benefit from, and I'll let you know if you can choose it, basically.
Well, a lightsaber would be cool, but I guess that wouldn't be a choice. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
gun.
so right now no one's going to have a lightsaber because we didn't go with Force and Destiny, so that would have to come up later if we play long enough and we end up getting someone a lightsaber.
I'm fine. I guess gun is the best weapon I can have.
Let me see. Hang on. Well, I mean, you're already gonna get ranged, so you'll have ranks in ranged weaponry. So you can still do gunnery. That would be more specific to being able to use like guns in general. But ranged would be a rifle. Gunnery would be like a blaster.
Yeah, blaster. That'd be good.
Blaster. Okay, so you do want to choose gunnery. So go ahead and click on that first slot in rank. It should go black. And you have one more.
And heavy.
No, you're already going to be getting heavy, so you can choose something else.
Let's see.
So you got like on the left side, you got things like charm, cool, computers, discipline.
I'll go with charm.
Charm. You'll be charming, will you?
Yeah,
Let me just
I'll
double
be
check.
charming.
Yeah, no, charm is not on the bounty hunter list, so yeah, go for it.
Don't.
No, that's
Alright.
what I was looking for. I was looking for things that were not on that list, because you're going to be choosing those next. Yumiko, you were also human, right?
Yes.
Same deal. You were also a bounty hunter, so you have the same restrictions as him. So go ahead and choose. Like, let me know what you're looking for, and I'll let you know if you can put a free rank in that yet.
Oh fuck! I'm so confused.
So we're just right underneath.
Out for a minute there.
Okay, so you see the row 2s, right?
Yeah.
Underneath that are all your skills, the things that like, hey, for example, computers. Hey, I want to see if I can check the database for information on my target. Okay, I'm gonna roll my dice for computers to see how good you are at that. So these are the different skills of things you can use, and the more ranks you add, the more skill you have at that thing.
All right.
So, as a human, you get 2 freebies,
Oh,
and
so
then the other races get other benefits. But for humans, it's 2 free things that aren't from your career. So I'm trying to make sure you don't choose something that's part of your career.
Oh, so we're still on choosing the skills, right?
Yeah, we're just on choosing the skills, and you can look at the skills you would want as a
but I feel
human.
like
So we're choosing
oh,
from
medicine.
like
I get to make
any skills, right?
concoctions, poison.
Uh, so no, medicine is exactly what it sounds like. Medicine is like healing people, checking to see what condition they're in, checking to see how long someone's been dead, um, knowing how much medical attention someone's going to need, things like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, as well as to make
If you want to be able to do like poisons and things like that, let me check and see.
Oh, wait, that's right. I just realized like a lot of these skills they're already like what you listed as what the races can do or like what the careers can do.
Right.
Can you like go over that again? I just realized that I could mark mine as career or not. So
Oh,
it's not
okay.
like I
Yeah.
have
So,
to.
what was your career again?
I'm smuggler.
Smuggle. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I totally forgot. You should be able to mark.
Yeah, we can
Yeah, let's
mark
do that
like
again. Okay,
people.
so we'll start with Yumiko and Dark. Under the career column, you're gonna
Uh-huh.
mark off the career skills. So, just click where it says. So, right next to athletics, you're gonna click there.
Athletics,
So,
athletics,
athletics.
athletics.
Did you get the little black dot?
And knowing that my
Oh, you
I
don't.
career
see it.
is a tech, can I do stuff like how can I say this?
Okay. Click on athletics. Okay. Got the dots.
Oh, and Glompus's
Mechanic.
latest comment. Josh got lonely and was like, "Time for space adventures."
Hmm.
I mean,
Are you
I
serious?
I think. this stuff is.
I've been talking about this for a while. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it today. Screw it. But anyway,
Honestly,
yes. So
it's kind of why.
okay, so career. So we're just marking off that it's part of your career. So, um, bounty hunters, athletics, perception. Down with the
Mhm.
P's. Pilot. Um, Actually, it's both. So it's going to be both piloting. There's piloting planetary and piloting space. Bounty hunters have both.
So I mark those.
Because as a
Yes.
technician,
Wait, what?
Where it says general skills, you mark athletics, piloting, both pilotings.
So,
Okay.
are Yumiko? Can you see the stream?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, so you
Okay.
see what I've been doing here with clicking and putting those dots.
So athletic
It adds
piling.
resilience. Looks like it. Or is that a mistake?
Oh my.
No, there's
Okay, all
no
three
resilience.
piling.
It's both pilotings and perception. That's what those three are.
Ah, percent.
Oh, so I was
Gotta make
supposed
my
to.
screen bigger.
So athletics, both pilotings and perception. Okay,
Right.
I'm good.
And athletics if you haven't gotten that one already. Next one is streetwise.
Oh,
Streetwise.
oh.
Yes.
Hmm. Huh? 1,000 points whoever gets that reference.
huh? What is it like?
Oh, hang on. Okay.
Too busy.
So I went ahead and I clicked all the ones for Bounty Hunter. So after Streetwise is Brawl, which is over in the combat skills. And then Vigilance, which is the very last one in general skills. And Ranged Heavy. So basically, you know how to use a heavy blaster rifle.
Mhm.
Just off, well, you might be able to know. All right, and you can choose four of any of the skills that you just marked off. You can choose four to give one rank in.
All right, I can choose 4.
Okay, so and let me know because I'm doing your character sheet on the stream, Dark. Go ahead and let me know which 4 you choose out of the ones with little dots.
Okay, I will take the 2 pilotings.
Okay.
Athletics and streetwise.
Athletics and streetwise. Ooh, good. That's a good choice. Streetwise is really good. Okay, so Bagels, what was your career?
I'm a smuggler.
Smuggler. Okay, and you saw how we did that, right?
Yes.
Which so the career skills for smuggler.
Yep.
Coordination. Deceit.
Deceit? I don't see deceit. Is that deception?
Yeah, that should be deception.
Okay.
Sorry, the sheet that I'm going off of right now is from the
Yeah,
beta,
it's
so some of the
different.
names have
Yeah.
changed.
Okay.
So, coordination, deception, perception,
Perception. Oh, I got all deception.
piloting space,
Piloting space. Okay.
skullduggery,
Okay. That's interesting.
streetwise,
Okay.
vigilance,
Ooh.
and underworld knowledge.
Underworld knowledge. Where's that?
So that's over under the knowledge skills, underworld.
Oh, okay.
And again, of all of those, you can choose 4 of those to give a free rank to.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then what else did we have? We had a colonist, right? That was Lady Saber.
Saber.
No, I'm here. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I was on mute.
No, that's okay. You've seen what we've been doing though, right?
Correct.
Okay. So for the colonist, just let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Charm, deception, leadership, negotiation, streetwise, core world knowledge, education knowledge, and lore knowledge.
And I can pick any of the 4.
And any 4 of the ones that I just named.
Okay.
So there's charm, deception, leadership. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 total that I just gave you. You can choose 4 of them.
Got it.
Cool. What else do we have? Bagels, what was your career?
Smuggler.
And we just did that, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait. So, like, for the free rank thing, I can only give that to a career, skill.
Okay, so you can give 4 to a career skill, and then as a human, you have 2 freebies for non-career skills.
I'm a Twi'lek.
Right. So Twi'lek is different from human.
Yes.
So I think so. First of all, Cryfan, you're a human, right?
No, I'm a Bothan.
That's right. You're a Bothan. What was your career?
Technician.
Technician. Right. Okay. So let's take care of your career skills first, and then we'll get to the species-specific stuff for you and Bagels.
Okay.
Okay. So for technician, you ready?
Yeah.
Astrogation.
Okay.
Computers.
Already got that.
Coordination.
All right.
Discipline. Mechanics.
Got that already.
Perception.
Okay.
Piloting planetary. And outer rim knowledge.
All right.
Okay, Bagels.
Yep.
For the Twi'lek, you can choose either Charm or Deception and add a rank in it. So if you already had a rank in that, you add another one. Or you can choose the one you don't have a rank in and get a rank in that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So I'll add 1 to charm.
Before we proceed, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so the ones that you just listed off that are ones that skills we can have related to our careers.
Mm-hmm.
When we select them, do we click the career box or do we click on the bar on the rank?
So you click on the career box because it's just saying this is a career skill.
Okay.
Out of all of the ones that you select the career box for, you can put the little black bar for rank in 4 of them. So there will be some with the little chevron and some without the little chevron.
I do not understand what you just said.
Okay, so I probably shouldn't have used the word chevron.
No, chevron was not the issue.
Okay, so there's the left column where it just has like a little dot that you can put in there, and then there's
Correct.
the column with all the ranks.
Correct.
So the ones that I just listed off, you're going to put the little dot in the career column.
Okay.
And then of all of the ones with the little dot, you can choose 4 of those to put a rank in.
Oh.
There you
okay.
go.
Okay. Yeah, I know what's going on. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so Bothans. Oh, by the way, the Twi'lek also gets another benefit, but it's really just you get certain advantages if you're in a hot or arid environment. So that's just something for me to know. You don't necessarily have to really worry about it.
Okay.
For Bothans, you get 1 free rank in Streetwise. And now I got to figure out what they changed this to, because you get another free rank in something else, but that's no longer in this. Oh, cool. You get 1 free rank in cool.
What does that even mean?
Like keeping your cool.
Oh, so.
Like being convincing, looking confident, looking like you know what's going on, things like that.
Okay. So just being like calm in situations.
Yeah, your calm, your demeanor, your
Collected.
confidence, or your appearance of confidence anyway.
I feel like they could have worded that better.
I probably could have, but I'm going off of the fact that it was originally called convincing demeanor in the beta, and again I'm looking at a beta reference sheet,
Yeah.
and then they completely changed it for this. I was like, what do you mean convincing demeanor? Oh, they probably mean cool.
Well, I mean like cool just as a word. They could have put like collected or something.
I mean, honestly, convincing demeanor is a bit
That
more
makes-
direct with what it is.
Yeah, it tells you exactly what it is.
Yeah, and
Cool
so
is just like, is that like popularity?
right, yeah, no, that kind of confused me the first time I saw it too, but
Especially when like it says like it's a presence sort of skill.
well, yeah, so presence is
it
your
really could
charisma.
be. Yeah. I mean,
So-
hey, charisma could mean popular too.
Well, it could definitely, but that's not really it. Popularity isn't a skill.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah.
I really hate to be this guy.
Yeah.
But I think we need to speed it up.
I'm trying to. It's just been I did not expect this many people to be here. I really didn't. I expected this to go faster, but fortunately, we are getting to the fun part.
Oh, lovely.
I hope so, because it's 5:25 a.m. where I'm from.
No, it's not.
Jesus.
Don't you lie to me.
Look up Jordan time now.
No. Okay.
Oh shoot! We missed Big Mignon is alive.
I saw it.
What?
I missed it. Fuck.
Aw.
Oh yeah, right. On it
Language,
was it?
language.
Unlocked.
Oof.
Yeah.
I was just watching.
I missed it. Oh well.
All right. So here is where you start customizing your character. So you see
Yay.
those experience points at the bottom?
Yay.
You're going to be pulling from your available experience points
Oh no.
to pay for things, essentially, to customize your
Oh.
character. So instead of having like levels or things like that, as you gain experience points, you get to spend those points on gaining new skills or stuff like that.
Okay.
So if it's a career skill, it's going to be cheaper.
Yay.
If it's a non-career skill, it's going to take more XP. Let me see. You can also learn a talent. So here's where we get into the specializations. So we'll start with our technician.
All right.
All right. So you have 3 specializations you can go with.
Okay.
You could be the mechanic,
All right.
the outlaw tech, or the slicer. And a slicer is a term that basically means hacker.
Hacker.
So hacker, outlaw tech, which is basically like knowing your mechanics on the streets, being able to improvise with your technology and stuff like that. The mechanic is like fixing up the ship, fixing up people's guns, and the slicer, of course, is the hacker.
I think I'm gonna be a hacker.
Hacker, sweet. So let me check real quick.
Those slicers, is that what they're called?
That's a pretty cool name, Slicer. Like your specialization.
Yeah. So your specialization is a slicer. And you have the option of adding a free rank to computers, stealth, knowledge of education, or knowledge of the underworld.
So is that like you choose one of those to add, or like they all get one?
So you choose 2 of those to add a free rank.
Okay.
All right, then I guess. So when it comes to the rank, okay, so free rank, so I guess
That just means like if you choose computers, you get a second rank in computers. If you choose knowledge of the underworld, you would get your first underworld knowledge thing.
Okay. Then I guess I'm gonna do like. I guess I could do knowledge of the underworld rank.
Okay, so underworld knowledge.
So do I have to put in the dot or put in the or fill in
That goes in the rank, so that's in the little bars.
Okay.
So you have underworld knowledge. What's your other one? Computers, stealth, or education?
All right.
Anyway, so that was the technician, the bounty hunter.
Yep.
So we have 2 bounty hunters here. Here are your options for your specializations. You have assassin, gadgeteer, and survivalist. So the assassin is pretty self-explanatory. The gadgeteer is basically imagine a MacGyver gun for hire. Like you can improvise on the spot. You can use a computer really well, and you can get into places more easily, like hack through systems and stuff like that. Or you'd be better at it. Although you should leave that to your technician probably. And the survivalist is again kind of what it sounds like. So Yumiko, it sounded like you maybe wanted to do the assassin, right? Is she there? Is anyone here?
Hi.
I am.
I'm here.
I hear you.
Oh, she must have walked away from her computer. Dark. Well, I guess we'll go with you. Which specialization sounds good to you?
I'm gonna go with assassin.
Assassin. Nice. Okay. So the 4 that you can choose 2 from for a free rank in, you have coordination, skullduggery, stealth, and brawl. Or no, sorry, not brawl, melee.
Melee.
What's melee? Sorry.
Melee is basically a type of combat. So brawl would be like hand to hand, like punching, fist fight. Melee means that you actually have a weapon in your hand, but you're still at close range and like striking with like a sword or a staff or something like that.
Okay, that one would be me.
So you
Too weak.
by the way, did you heard the
again.
specialization options you had, right?
There was coordination.
Okay, we'll finish this up with Dark, and then I'll get you again. So,
yeah, I was. Sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll get to you in a second. Coordination, skullduggery. Skullduggery is kind of like trickery. So basically, like unscrupulous behavior, like double dealing, like trying to get away with shit. It's not really deception per se. It's more of like I guess like a combination of sleight of hand and misdirection, things like that.
Okay.
Basically, just trying to get away with stuff.
Skullduggery. What else?
Coordination, skullduggery, stealth, and melee. You can choose 2 of those to get a free rank in.
I don't see melee.
Melee should be right underneath lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
It's in the combat skills.
It's the column on the right.
Okay.
There you go.
And what was the last? Okay, I got
So
stealth, coordination, and melee.
Yeah, coordination, skullduggery, stealth, melee. Those are the 4 options you can choose from.
For rank.
For rank. Choose 1 rank in 2 of those 4.
Choose 1 rank in 2 of those 4. I'll take skullduggery.
Skullduggery.
And,
What was the other one?
Skullduggery, and I think I will take coordination too.
Coordination, all right. So, Yumiko, you were also a bounty hunter. So here are your options. You have assassin, gadgeteer, or survivalist.
Yumiko.
What?
It's your turn.
She only pays attention to you apparently.
No, I was thinking. I'm having a blackout moment.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
So he's an assassin.
Like your mind just seems to go. Until...
Yup, it goes on its own, and I don't like it. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Assassin, gadgeteer, and survivalist.
So, gadgeteer, assassin,
and survivalist.
Okay.
Or just survival.
Fuck. Let's go with survival, I think.
Survival? Okay, so that's going to be like you're really good with outdoorsy stuff, and you're really resilient, and you know about the local like plant life or wildlife, and you know how to hide yourself and stuff like that.
Well, I do know how to hide myself.
Just so you know, you click on where under it says rank. You know, the first box of the
so
bars.
So right next to your career, up at the top, you have specialization. That's where you can put survival.
Okay,
or survivalist.
I'll do that later.
Okay.
I'll
But right now we're going to be choosing, you get free ranks in 2 out of these next 4 things that I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So, resilience, survival, lore knowledge, and xenology knowledge. Or xenology? Xenology.
Where is that?
Okay, so the first 2 are on the left. Resilience and survival are kind of near the bottom. And then all of your knowledge skills, the lore and the xenology, are on the right under those knowledge skills.
Oh.
So you could have knowledge about lore of different places in the galaxy, or you can have knowledge about the different species of the galaxy. Or you can have resilience, which is your ability to withstand harsh conditions. Or you can have survival, which is your ability to like forage for food, go hunting, track someone who's traveling through like forested area, stuff like that.
Hmm. Okay. Um, for knowledge skills, I'm gonna pick a lore.
Okay, so go ahead and put one little bar rank in lore.
Okay, there's that one.
And then one more.
Resilience.
Resilience. All right, go ahead and put a rank in resilience. Lady Saber, you were a colonist, right?
Correct.
All right, so your options are doctor, politico, and scholar.
Oh dear.
Oh dear is right.
Oh, dearie me. Oh,
You know what? I'll
goodness.
just be the nerd. I'll be the scholar.
The scholar. Nice. Okay. All right, you ready for your specialization ranks?
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
For the specialization ranks, do I click the career bubble as well as the rank, or do I just
Just
add
add
to
the
the
rank.
rank?
Just add the rank.
Slumpus, shut your
Okay.
face. Leave my mind alone. Leave Yumiko. Fucking teasing Yumiko. Yumiko
Bruh.
did nothing wrong.
Language, Yumiko.
Thank you,
Remember,
Dark.
Your
apparently we're
language,
streaming
man.
on a child-friendly, so only.
This
wholesome-
is a family-friendly Christian Minecraft server. Thank you very much.
Oh, I'm not.
Where's
I'm
the
not
Minecraft in it?
I don't know.
Then I'm not welcome.
Do you not hear me breaking blocks in the back?
I'm not welcome.
Minecraft server, man.
I'm a Muslim.
Anyway, so yeah, so for scholar, you get to choose once again. You get to choose 2 out of the ones I'm giving you. So
Got it.
you have perception, outer rim knowledge, underworld knowledge, and xenology knowledge.
Okay.
So you choose 2 out of those to give a free rank to. And okay. So I think the last one is the smuggler, which is bagels.
Hi.
Bagels. All right, here are your options. You have the
Yay.
pilot, the scoundrel, or the thief.
Okay, what do I get for being scoundrel?
Scoundrel is charm, cool, brawl, and light ranged.
Okay, what about thief?
Thief, skullduggery, vigilance, underworld knowledge, and stealth.
And what was the last one?
Pilot, which would get you astrogation, both pilotings, and gunnery.
Gunnery? Which one's gunnery?
The bagel smuggler. I love it.
Jesus Christ, I just saw that.
I just imagine just a person like trying to break out of a bakery with just holding bagels.
What
in
was
his
that?
mouth.
What was that second? Oh wait, no. Which one's the one with the gunnery again?
The one with gunnery is the pilot.
Okay, I'll be a pilot then.
Pilot. All right. Well, that's helpful because the group is gonna get a ship.
Yay!
And I could pick gunnery
Shotgun.
and then what other thing
I'm a pilot.
for pilot?
For pilot, that's gonna be astrogation, either piloting and gunnery. So you can choose one of the 2 piloting options or astrogation, which
What is astrogation?
astrogation is navigating through the stars.
Oh, I don't need that.
I have piloting skills.
I'll
Without
just get.
my part
I'll get
units.
better space piloting. I'm sure. We have somebody who does planetary, right?
I think so.
Does anybody know how to fly?
Does anybody know how to fly this spaceship?
Does
I
anybody
mean,
know how
with
to?
my awesome hacker skills, maybe I can try to.
Oh, heck yeah, I'm gonna hack this navigation.
Hey
I
guys,
have pilot. I
Gotta
got
make
piloting
this
skills for
autopilot.
space and planetary.
hey guys, we're just outside of Coruscant now. I don't know how to get into the atmosphere and land it.
No, it's
Anybody
like-
know how to do that?
I don't
No,
know.
I don't
Fly
know
casually.
I don't know who's gonna get this reference, but I'm gonna fucking make. I'm gonna freaking make it on my own stream. Gosh darn it! But are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Stop it!
No, shut up. We've been there for 2 hours. Now give me the controls so we can land. I think I know how to fly a spaceship. It's not rocket science.
Oh god.
Oh no.
And then they crash. It was a beautiful time.
Well, I just
Beautiful
want to
time.
make sure. So we actually don't have anybody who can fly planetary, right?
I mean, you can still try to fly planetary. We're getting into.
Um,
With
right
my
after you
awesome
just talked
hacker
about,
skills.
the crashing meme and stuff, you say we
Mhm.
could try to fly planetary.
Yeah.
Oh god.
All right. So here we're gonna get into using your XP.
Yay.
All right.
Lovely.
So here's what you can do. You can improve one of your characteristics, which are the big numbers near the top.
Oh,
If
okay.
you decide to improve them, it's going to be 10 for every rank that you improve. So let's say you've got your brawn at 2, and you want to bump that up to 3. You would have to pay a price of 20.
Wait, what?
Okay.
So
Can you
so
say that one
If
again?
it's
yeah,
already
okay.
at
So
2,
so
you pay
take the
20.
number for characteristics. Take the number that you would want to improve it, or sorry, take the number that it is, and multiply it by 10. So if your brawn is 2, the cost is 20.
And then if you want to bump it again, it's going to cost more the second time around.
Right. So if you bump it from 2
Okay.
to 3, it costs 20 points. If you want to go from 3 to 4, that's 30 points.
Okay, okay.
So if that makes any sense, yeah.
What if I want to go from 2 to 4 directly?
Then you'd have to pay both prices. So 50.
So you'd have to pay 20 and then play 30 again. So it would be a
Right.
total of
So-
50.
So you can only do one at a time.
Yeah, you can only do one at a time. And you have if you're trying to max out, the max you can take is 5 for any one of these, but it does get really expensive, and it means you can't personalize anything else because it ends up using a lot of your points. But so that's for characteristics.
So I can spend. Wait, what else are we gonna spend experience on?
So
before I
the
start
other things you can spend it on would be your skills. So here you can actually buy skills, and they go by instead of 10 times, it's 5 times for a skill. So your first rank is going to cost, if it's a career skill, your first rank costs 5. If you already have 1 rank in it and you want to go to your second rank, that costs 10.
Oh, okay.
And then your third rank costs 15, 20, 25.
So what about non-career skills? Is that double?
For non-career skills, it's actually not double. You only add 5. So your first rank is 10. Your second rank is 15. Your third, so it's just adding an extra 5.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's the thing: you can only, so the max for your skills when you're starting out is 2. You can only get up to 2 ranks in anything.
Oh, so like my piloting space is 2 right now. I can't.
So you can't do any more on your piloting skill.
Oh,
So
okay.
you'll have to choose other things to improve or save your XP for later on.
Oh, okay.
Because it's only during creation that you have those limits. But you can
Okay.
only change your characteristics once. So I would spend more time on making sure your characteristics are where you want them. If you're okay with where they are now, you can just leave them as is and just spend it on skills. Or you can improve 1 or 2. You can improve all of them.
Yeah, I think I know what I want to improve.
But I am going to make sure that I at least have Dark telling me what he's doing. Because again, I'm making your character sheet on the stream.
Okay, I'm gonna add 1 to my willpower.
Okay, so at a cost of 20, you're going to make your willpower 3.
Yep.
So that means you're at 90 now. 90 available. So to keep track, in the bottom right, you subtract what you've used from your available XP.
Yep.
Yeah.
I figured that made sense, but I explained it anyway.
Yeah, must have.
So what else are we doing, buddy?
let me see. I think I will increase streetwise. Oh no, wait. No wait. Skullduggery
Skullduggery.
by one rank. Yeah,
Okay, so that's
I
gonna
already
be
have one. I already have one free rank, so I'll move it up to two.
okay. And because that's a non-career skill, that is gonna cost 15. So that puts you at 75.
Oh wait, okay. So I'm sure we're gonna choose weapons later on, but
Yes.
just curious, which skill um I should be more apt to improve if I wanted my weapon to be a force saber. Should I do lightsaber or just melee?
Because it's not a lightsaber, it will have a certain weight to it.
Yeah.
So things like a vibro sword, or I don't think they have force sabers in here. Trying to
Oh.
remember.
I mean, the force saber is basically just a lightsaber, except it doesn't have a button. It just works with dark energy.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be available. So the closest you can get would be like a vibro blade or electro sword.
It says it's similar to a lightsaber pike. Can I get that? And that would count as a lightsaber, right?
What, the vibro blade?
No, lightsaber pike.
Let me look at the available weapons. Hang on.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. I guess technically, yeah, we can do lightsaber for that.
Okay.
Yep.
For like a lightsaber pike.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or okay.
So technically, lightsabers are a thing. It's just that nobody is a Jedi, and therefore you can't use a lightsaber. But if you're going to use a lightsaber-like weapon, I would say we would go with lightsaber for the skill you would need for that.
Okay. That's
But if you're going to use other types of hand-to-hand weapons, or like a sword, a dagger, an axe, things like that,
it'd
that would be melee.
Okay.
I think I'll add a rank now to gunnery.
Gunnery, okay. And that's...
And what's the difference between gunnery and ranged weaponry?
So gunnery would be like a pistol or a blaster, where you can... It's meant for like mid to close range. Ranged would be like... So ranged light would be like a rifle or a disruptor or something like that, like a sniper rifle. Ranged heavy would be like heavy artillery.
Cannons.
Cannons,
Like
disruptor cannons are freaking just, oh my god, they're intense.
So what is ranged light supposed to be then?
So like I said, it's more like, like sniper rifle, like long ranged blasters, but they're not heavy artillery.
Oh. Okay.
Be right back, you guys.
Cool.
Honestly, dudes, I'm really sorry to have to do this, but I'm gonna have to go. I am very tired. It's nearly 6 a.m.
Okay.
Go to
Is gonna be a
sleep,
problem?
Go to sleep. I'll finish up your character sheet, and if you ever decide to come back to this, then we can walk through it.
All right, I'll save it as it is.
Yep.
And I shall take my leave. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Night, man.
Bye bye. Bye, Yumiko.
Don't die in sleep.
Hey, wait, isn't it your birthday?
Me? No, it's his. It's his.
It's Sharingan's
Happy
birthday.
Yeah,
wait,
you
since,
remember.
wait, why did nobody tell me?
Because he's 31. He did.
Because I wasn't
That's what he
absolutely
did
sure.
say like a while ago. I think you weren't paying attention towards him, so.
Well, it seems kind of what's the word?
Inconvenient?
Obnoxious to go around telling people, yeah, it's my birthday today.
Oh,
Well,
dude,
happy
we do that in
birthday, man.
America all
Sleep.
the time.
Sleep.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself.
I will. Now let me win this game. All right. Good night, all.
All right.
Yo.
Night, man. Alrighty
So
then.
of 2 character sheets.
Wow, I am with all the waifus and husbandos.
Oh goodness.
Because Cryfan is AFK right now. So
Yeah, it's true.
hi Josh.
Oh goodness, what have we done?
I'm
Ah,
incredibly confused with
my
what is happening right now.
Don't you know what?
glasses
Don't worry
are
about it.
up from the Dojin ideas that are.
I don't think we
thrown.
want to think about it.
Hi. Okay, we should probably continue.
Probably. Nah, we should just talk about something completely different. We were just doing this to prank Dark. No, I'm kidding. Oh, that would be so mean.
It's like
That's
he's
a
watching the
pretty
stream,
long
and
con.
it's just like, and we
Yeah,
just
a two. Oh, holy crap! A 2-hour con.
it's a 2-hour prank. Just keep him away. That is like that's like commitment to the craft right there.
I know, right?
That's,
But anyway, yeah. So the other things that you can spend your XP on are the
Yep.
character trees. And for this, I think
what's the character tree, by the way?
at this point, it's gonna be easier for me to just drop it into the tabletop chat.
Okay. I mean, I don't really have much XP left to spend anyways. I only have 20.
If you want to retract some to spend on your tree, you can do that too. No, it's a group sheet.
When do we get to pick our weapons? You know, specifically.
If you want to pick them now, we can. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Yay.
I'm gonna put. Oops, hang on. So there's a new file called spec EOE. It's loading right now into the tabletop chat, and that's for your skill trees or talent trees. And then for the weapons,
Oh, glory. Look at this skill tree.
Oh boy. Oh, this is a bounty. I'm a smuggler.
do. I'm gonna see if I can. Well,
Oh my gosh, I'm like at the bottom, I bet. Feels bad, man. Yep, I am at the bottom. Wow. Wait, I could have been a gunslinger? Wait, what?
You could have been a gunslinger.
hang on. Were you seeing that?
Though I kind of want to use a.
Smuggler has a lot
That's
of...
just fun. You get
Hang
to
on. Let me look at smuggler real quick.
Then charmer, gambler, gunslinger, pilot, scoundrel, thief, and then technician. What does gunslinger get?
I don't remember there being that many. These might be ones that were added on later.
Perhaps. Wow, I just got like the
Alright,
most
back.
dynamic one.
Alright, so what did I miss?
Everything. So, we revealed that this was just a prank on Sharingan this entire time.
It was all for nothing. I've wasted all of your time.
Yeah, it was 2 hours just to waste his time as a prank.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, if this
But
keeps up, we're not just gonna miss Vic's stream. We're gonna miss Nick's stream.
when is next stream?
11 p.m.
Oh crap! I didn't even
Central
realize.
Time?
Oh,
Didn't even realize.
hey, Yumiko and Saber, can you like just like marry me real fast in the box moments?
Oh goodness. He's trying to create a
Um,
waifu army.
It's
Don't
the era.
indulge him.
Well, I hate to
Yes,
break this to
indulge
you,
me.
but I'm actually already part of a harem over on a different server.
Harem.
That's fine. That he said her.
Harem. That sounds haram.
Oh jeez.
You left me?
That's fine. You don't need to like commit or anything. It's just I just need more waifus. I bought all these marriage slots because I was tricked, and I need to use them.
Alright, so
the time I was gone, apparently this was just some whole ploy to waste someone's time.
Yep.
Yep.
What?
Oh, since you were gone, it's technically a prank on you as well because you came back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Totally.
guess so. I guess so.
Yes,
But
yes, Cry, you
But
are
no,
heckin'
that
bamboozled.
Did someone propose? What the?
yeah.
Bot!
I
Kill you!
probably should have prefaced. I didn't realize y'all had never played a tabletop game before. Character creation can take a long time.
no
For some
crap.
people, it's taken like 3 or 4 hours. Um, for this, I ended up having to re-explain a whole bunch of stuff, so I think that's a big part of it.
Sorry.
Oh
No,
my
no,
gosh,
it's not. It's not just you. It's like I had to re-explain it for like pretty much everyone.
I know, I'm
This,
apologizing on my behalf.
Mm.
tell me this isn't the coolest skill you've ever heard of for piloting. Supreme full throttle. Like it doesn't even need Supreme on it, but they just added that there. So it's not full throttle, it's just Supreme full throttle. That's like 4-year-old level.
Honestly, I won't be surprised if it's like if you told me this would be like a title of an anime, I would.
Supreme Full Throttle, the anime. But
I'd
yeah,
like
no,
to be.
that's way down your skill tree.
Do you like your mom's Supreme full throttle?
Okay.
So
But anyway,
do
in the
we?
bottom corner of each of these little parts of the skill tree, that's the cost for that skill. And you should obviously be able to tell what goes where. But yeah, the gunslinger thing, I think, and I'm double checking right now, I think that, let's see, sorry, I'm looking in the core rulebook just to check, because I'm pretty sure each of them only had 3 options.
Is Nick really live tonight? I don't see enough.
Alright, so smuggler, pilot, scoundrel, thief. Yeah, so it's just those 3 initially, so the gunslinger is something that somebody added on for this. I mean, if you want to choose it, you can do that. I just wasn't going based off of these trees.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay with pilot.
Okay.
Just for ease.
Sorry, Bagels.
So do we have to keep this document that's got the skill tree on it along with this?
I mean, you don't have to, because I can pull it up for you if you want. If we do end up playing this game more, like actually playing it, not just creating the characters.
Oh, I see now. That's why they put Supreme Full Throttle. Because
Yeah.
the active talent at the beginning is full throttle. They should just
Right.
put like extra full throttle or something. It's just
Yeah, but
weird.
Supreme Full Throttle sounds better.
Oh yeah, there's improved full throttle too.
No, I feel like there's like no, I feel like how it happens. It's like there's Full Throttle, and then the sequel Supreme Full Throttle, and then the prequel.
This is like JoJo Part 1, 2, and 3 right here.
Pretty much,
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
we got Full Throttle, then I feel like it would be like Initiate Full Throttle, and then Supreme Full Throttle as like the end of the trilogy. Like what? Like please tell me like the enemy is gonna be like a monster. Sorry, some crap. Dang it. Oops. Sorry.
So anyway, let's see. Bounty Hunter Assassin is what Dark had. So let's see. What would he want for his first skills? So we've got Grit, which is +1 to strain. Or we've got Lethal Blows, which is add +10 per rank of lethal blows to any critical injury.
Wait, so where do we put these? Like on the character sheet?
Give me one sec.
Talents?
Yeah,
On
it's the
second
talents.
page? Okay. Should we list off all the talents we have and then just like add in the things later, or like just do them as we have?
I mean, yeah. So just as you choose a talent, write the name in there and how many ranks you have in it.
Okay. So what's the difference between active talent and passive talent?
So active talent. So this gets into how the game itself actually works.
Yes.
So let me just kind of explain how a basic game would go. So let's say that you are in combat, and you need to, let's say you're in a space battle, okay, and you needed to punch it. You needed to get out of there fast.
Yep.
So an active talent would be something that you take one of your actions. So you have like actions during your turn that you can do. So you take your action for your turn, and you will actively do something with that. Passive would be like it does. It's not when you're, well. For example, the assassin skill tree. It has grit. One of the
Mm-hmm.
passive traits, grit, gain +1 strain threshold. It just adds +1. Just no matter what's happening, you have a +1 to your strain.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's literally it. The passive is just kind of there. It's something, a trait about you. Whereas the active is something that you can do and say, I'm gonna do this thing, and then you roll and go, yes, you did the thing.
So will it be a problem if I just end up with 0 available XP after this?
You would have to wait until you get more to improve anything else.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
no,
fine.
like you can use up the entirety of your XP, and in fact, it's usually advised that you do when you first start out.
Yeah.
Wait, who is commenting on YouTube?
Eh.
Oh, it's Cryfan.
Hi.
Wait, you're in here. Why are you...
I
Probably for like the same
find
reason
me.
how I was hey, I am the most loyal viewer. I'm watching on D Live, Twitch, and YouTube.
Yeah,
Are
free
you spoofing our views, Bagels?
Yes.
So you're like just looking at 3
I
open
would do
tabs on
Mixer,
the
but
same
like
screen.
since Ninja is on Mixer, I cannot. It's against my moral code to follow bandwagons like Ninja.
Yeah, I can see that. It's mostly just because I have a friend on Mixer, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do Mixer. Why not?
Okay.
But yeah, let's see.
So
And
I'm
then
looking at this skill tree,
Mm-hmm.
and there are random colored blocks that make it look like there's supposed to be a number there, except that there's color there instead of a number. So it'll say something like, to remove blank per
Oh, okay.
rate.
So those are
And those
actually.
random.
Remember how I said there are special dice for this game? Those
That's what
special
those
dice have a
colored
certain
dice are?
color.
Okay.
So if you add a blue die, that's called a boost die. So I would be adding something to your pool of dice.
oh, I have
Okay.
nothing but black dice. Then
Yeah, I see black and blue on
Yeah,
mine.
so black, I forget the name of it. Let me pull up the names of the different kinds of dice. 'Cause I know it's boost. I don't think it's not disadvantage. It's the dice. All right. So
There's
boost
a couple
dice
purple
are
ones.
the blue ones. Oh, setback. So the black ones are setback dice. The purple ones are difficulty dice.
oh, are the purple ones the purple rhombuses?
Yes.
Guys?
So actually, what I will do
Because
is
I get 3 of those for some reason. I get 3 of those for my full throttle. I don't know how good
let me
that
take a
is.
look at full throttle. Smuggler, charmer, gambler, gunslinger, pilot. Okay, so take a full. Okay, so full throttle action. Make. Okay, so the difficulty of a task is set by those dice. So,
Yes.
what is your piloting?
My
What is your
piloting?
Yeah? What is piloting for you?
Like my rank in it?
Yes.
for space one, right?
Yeah, it's for either one with full throttle, but we'll go with space.
Okay, I have two.
Two, okay. And remind me, what is piloting? Is that intelligence, agility?
Agility
Agility, okay. What's your agility score?
3.
3, okay. So your base score
Mhm.
is how. So your agility is going to determine how many green dice that I roll. So I would be rolling 3 green dice versus 3 purple dice, except you have 2 ranks in the skill.
Yes.
So each rank replaces one of the green dice with a yellow die, and the yellow die gives you much better results. So
Okay.
your green dice are the ability dice, and those are
Yeah.
based on like that. That's what you start with. So again, you start with 3 for your 3 agility.
Mhm.
But because you have 2 ranks in piloting, you will replace them with something called proficiency dice because you're proficient in piloting. So you would be rolling 2 yellow and 1 green die and 3 purple dice.
Okay. So
So
wait, what if I had let's say for example my piloting was rank 4. Do I get an extra dice that's yellow or is it just the 3 yellow dice? Because
you would get an extra yellow.
okay.
Yeah. Once you start exceeding your ability, it's all proficiency.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
Uh,
at this point I have to go off.
I have a question. Or
They
finished.
gotta meet with someone tomorrow. I think I'm gonna just scooch down out of here.
what was that?
I have to meet up with someone.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That
have
was
fun.
scooching out of here. So bye. It was
Bye.
nice making characters of
Bye
Bye.
Star Wars.
bye.
It's supposed to
Well,
be something.
I'm glad you joined us. Hope you had fun.
Yeah, I actually did have fun. This was nice. And
Woohoo!
I think I learned more about Star Wars than I would do in my lifetime. So.
We must read some cursed fanfic, if you know what I mean.
Oh no.
Oh, I
No.
see. Have you wait? Have you encountered me in the other server?
Yes.
Oh God, you were in Hero server when that happened.
No.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
because
it's a
that
different.
all started in Hero Haste.
Oh wait, yeah, it did start in Hero Haze.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in Hero Haze server. I go by midnight.
yeah, because it all started when I was using my voice changer for different characters of Ruby. I was reading cursed fan fiction, and
We're reading cursed fanfics are like gold mine.
yeah, the
Okay.
reason it was fun, it was because of the voice changer.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
actually have
Right now?
I have a dice roller online that I can show you.
Roll it.
I knew
Oh, good
it.
lord.
Sorry.
Yeah, she used many voice changes like that one,
Mhm.
and it was so hilarious that I died of coughing.
And then he was resurrected for the sole purpose of.
Of reading more.
I forgot what was. I think the voice that I used for wife was.
No, it was different.
I
Oh,
don't
you
know
know
what's
what I mean.
happening anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
I have a question about
Yeah.
the skill trees.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I wasn't even paying.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but I
they
really
have
gotta
one
go
that
soon.
is
Bye.
special toward
Bye.
the scholar colonist. But if you go up a couple pages, there's one for just colonists in general. Do I have to fill out the colonists one in general before I can go on to the
No,
special?
I just ignore everything that's not your specialization.
Okay.
That would be the tree you would use if you didn't want to specialize.
Okay.
But the core rulebook has everyone specialized, so that's what I'm doing.
Okay. There
Well,
we
I
go.
mean,
Okay. Well, then that
normal one,
eliminates another question, so we're good.
All right, cool. But yeah, so if you look up on the stream, I actually have the dice roller up on here. I do have actual dice, but they're far away and I don't want to get them. And plus, this gives you a visual.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so all right, so if we look down here, Do you see where it shows? Actually, hang on. Let me roll for you. So I just rolled your piloting check. Remember how we talked about the 2 yellow, the green, and the 3 purple? Okay, so you see, I don't know when it comes up on the stream, but do you see that the little like explosions?
Yes.
Okay.
I see 3 of them.
How does
Yes.
it feel, man? I
So
want to know how it feels.
each little sparkle thing, that counts as a success.
Oh, okay.
So
the
you have a
explosions
net
are good.
3 success because you have 3 successes and no failures.
What's a failure?
My Wi-Fi doesn't love me.
So a failure is going to look like a weird triangle thing.
Oh.
And the successes and the failures cancel each other out. So you have to have at least 1 net success to succeed on a roll.
Okay.
So
Oh.
because you had proficiency, that made it really easy for you to succeed.
Yes.
But if you look closely at the yellow dice, I'm going to zoom in here. When you rolled on the yellow dice, instead of just the little sparkly thing like it has on the green die,
Yeah, it has
on
a
both of your
symbol.
yellow dice, it has this weird little symbol on it on top.
Yeah.
So instead of success, that's called advantage.
What does that do?
So advantage basically means something good happens. But here's the thing. You also had something called a threat, and that's what's on these purple dice. Just like success and failure, threats and advantages, or advantage? Yeah, advantage. Threats and advantages cancel each other out.
Oh,
So you have
okay.
1 more threat than advantage. So you have 3 successes, meaning you succeeded in your piloting roll, but something bad has to happen.
Okay.
So depending on how you role played that, you could. So what does full throttle say?
Oh, full throttle. It says, increase a vehicle's top speed by 1 for a number of rounds equal to cunning.
Okay, so it could be something like. So how would you role play that? Let's say that you needed to gun it for some reason. How would you role play you using that skill?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so you are piloting your ship, and all of a sudden the Empire is behind you, and you need to gun it, but you know that they're gonna match your speed, and you have to really get the ship to go. What do?
Hot wire.
I use my full throttle, and then I guess the threat would be, I run out of gas.
Well, no. So don't worry about what the roll would be. You tell me what you want to do, and then we roll it. So just ignore that we know the result.
So yeah, so I would speed up into hyperspace.
So how would you speed up the top speed? How would you make the full throttle happen? Would you just go harder on the controls? Would you try to hotwire something?
I would just go harder on the controls.
Okay, so you mash on the controls to try and force your ship to go faster, and you end up you go faster. You actually go a lot faster, and you manage to escape the Empire. But at the same time, you burned out one of your fuel cells. So not only is it not working, but you're dead in the water. So you're out of danger, but you can hardly move your ship at all. Actually, threat wouldn't be like one little threat, that wouldn't be that bad. So it would probably be more like you damage the hull of the ship, and so it's a little bit weaker until you get it repaired. So you went too fast, and the ship was like, "Oh, holy shit," or "Holy carp."
No, not car.
I'm trying to be nice for Mixer. I might just also not do Mixer because that just sounds like a hassle.
I would suggest
Okay,
not
so
doing mixer,
if I do want to fill out, oh, I'm sorry, Bagel, keep.
especially since I did just talk bad about they're basically their baby ninja. You're probably not gonna be very favorable.
Yeah, probably not.
Mixer.
But yeah, Lady Saber, what were you saying?
So how do I? This PDF won't let me edit the skill tree as far as like checking in the boxes. So how do I record what I'm filling in here for the skill tree and keep track of it?
Skill tree. Well, for the skill tree, I would say it should just be under talents. For the skill tree gives you talents. So you just type in. Hang on. Yeah. So you type it in like the name of the talent, how many ranks you have in it, and then give a little description of what it does.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah. So you don't actually fill out the tree. It'd be nice if there was a tree you could fill out, but you do that on your character sheet. Or you could like print it out and fill those out.
Well,
But like
you
that
can't.
sounds like effort.
Okay, so there's not really a ranking up to the to the to a skill tree, right? Because once you fill in that thing on the skill tree, it just opens up more options on the tree, right?
Let me double check something because it's a little weird about some of this stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not sure quite what it means by rank. That might be something new that they added in one of the later editions. But I don't think that there's really anything we need to worry about there.
Okay.
So just ignore the rank. Just put the name and put the description.
Okay.
Yeah, this character sheet that I got. This is the catch-all for all the different versions.
Hmm. How? That's a lot of money in robot form.
A lot of money.
Oh, don't worry.
Why are you doing this to me, Bagel?
You didn't see. I just got an extra 10K from flipping a coin.
I don't understand this.
Bagels,
It's
are you
okay.
just giving people money now?
Yes.
Bagels,
What
we talked about this.
Don't.
I'm rich. I want to encourage gambling and bad decisions.
Good lord.
What is this? What do we need meat coals for?
For gambling.
Like we don't really, but if you wanted to use them, you can, I guess.
Yeah.
What do we?
But anyway, yeah.
Slots.
While y'all are filling out your talent trees, let me pull up the weapons. So what kind of weapons did everyone want?
I want a lightsaber pike, which is also just a light pike, depending on how you call it. But I want to call it.
I don't know if the lightsaber pike specifically, because I know there's like a vibro staff, but that's different.
Yeah, the lightsaber pike is like what temple guards use, but not really.
No, they didn't have pikes.
They're called lightsaber pikes, but they're not.
Why are you so low? Speak up. Can't hear you.
There's a force pike though. You want to do the force pike?
What's a force pike? Let me Google that.
Force pike is like a force saber, but it's a pike.
Oh, it's like a. Wait, so what's it do?
Yeah. So the damage is plus. So damage is +3.
Okay.
Um.
What's it look like?
Let me. Hang on. Let me grab a picture. Force pike images. Yeah, the force pike is what the I think what the royal guard used.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
Can I? How many weapons can I choose?
For starting, it's gonna depend on like what else you get, like equipment wise. But I would say probably 2.
Okay. Wait. So what's the damage and skill?
Okay, so the skill for force pike would be melee.
Okay.
And the damage is +3. So when you deal damage,
Yeah.
what it is, it's the base damage for you. It would be 3, plus
Yeah.
the number of net successes that you have. So if you just have 1 net success, it's 4 damage. But if you roll really well and you get like 3 or 4 net successes,
Oh
you
wait,
can
so the force spike is melee, right?
right. So
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
I'm a
since yeah, I thought you were
yeah, I'm gonna
wanting a
switch my
saber, but it sounds like you're wanting
yeah.
melee instead.
Okay, so I'll switch my
Yeah,
lightsaber
yeah,
skills.
go and switch that.
What's the range of a force spike? I'm assuming it has some range. Is it?
Um, well, no, you have to be engaged to use it.
Yeah, I know.
So like within like so
It,
it's
it
not.
doesn't have like, a certain like low melee.
No. So they've really simplified like ranges and stuff like that for this game. So it's just engaged, close, mid range, far,
Okay,
and very far.
so is it close or engaged?
So it's engaged. You have to be engaged in
Engaged.
combat to
Okay.
use it.
Okay. Um. Yay. Oh wait, that's supposed to be range, not crit. Can I also get what's it called? A Tuscan cycler?
Tuscan Cycler. Hang on.
Is that listed?
Where are you seeing this?
It's basically what the Tuscan Raiders use.
Well,
They're
right.
modified.
I'm trying to figure out. Are you looking at a list of things, or are you just
Yeah,
trying to pull from memory?
I'm just looking at a list of like Star Wars weapons. I don't know if it's like listed in this um thing, but
Oh, okay. Um. So let me
I
refresh
don't.
my memory on what that is.
It says otherwise known as a Tuscan cycle, but I don't know what names it has. It's a sniper rifle.
Yeah, right. The Giselle. That's technically a blaster rifle. It's a long
So
range weapon.
so would that be like ranged light?
Um,
This is kind of what I'm going for since that's what I put my.
well, technically the blaster rifle is ranged heavy, but that doesn't make sense because the heavy blaster rifle is ranged heavy.
Yeah.
So again, because this is from the beta that I'm looking at right now, so I'm gonna say yeah, ranged light.
Okay. So I just put Tuscan cycler,
Yeah.
or is there a different name?
You can put Tuscan Cycler. I'll just give you stats for a different weapon.
Okay, that's fine.
So much weapon.
What's
So
the
Bagel,
Yes.
how does the feel of proposal being rejecting?
It hurts.
Yeah,
What?
he keeps trying to take my girlfriend, and
It
that shit ain't working.
It's okay, Bagel. You will get your harem one day, and they can sit around all day and make you toasties.
I just like the fact that you pronounce that harem.
Okay,
Oh.
because I listened to a guy from Singapore who joked about how he was going to have himself a harem. And that's how he
Oh my
pronounced
God.
it. He's like,
High
and all day
five
long,
for
my
your
harem will make me
savageness.
toasties.
You know what? High five for your savageness.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sure, thanks.
I can dig it.
It's
Where
okay.
the
I will
devil is
add
my
Kitty
charge
to the list regardless. I'll add everyone to the list.
Not my fault that I was waifu to someone else.
Well,
That's
we're
fine.
just gonna have to
It's
get
it's
you
like
a.
it's like anime, you know. Everybody waifus the
Oh,
same.
okay, so what I'll do, what I'll do for y'all to choose your weapons, you can choose 2. I'll start with the brawl and melee weapons, and just see what weapons that you would want to start out with.
Oh yeah. Wait, what's the damage of the Tuscan cycle?
Oh, that's right. So let's go through that. So we're using blaster rifle stats. So damage is 9.
So +9.
Yep,
And
plus
then
9.
range is what?
Range is long. You can use it close quarters, but at a certain extent, if you're too close, you'll get disadvantage on it.
Okay, so like engage would probably be
Engaged is so close that it'll be very challenging, and you could screw up your weapon.
Oh, okay. So
Mid
would
range is
close
just you might miss a little bit,
would close
because
be
it's best
okay,
at long
or
range.
would close be okay, or is that just not so good
Close
either?
would be better than engaged. Like the closer you get, the more likely you are to either miss or at least get yourself stuck. Because you're using a long rifle. If you're too close, like even if you're close enough where you'll hit it, sometimes you might like drop the weapon or something like that. That's where that
Oh,
threat and advantage comes in.
I'll just use my semi-automatic bump stock.
Oh my god! How dare you?
I'm
How
so
very
glad
dare you?
I'm so glad you got that one.
Oh, also, your blaster rifle has a stun setting. Your
Ooh,
Tuscan Cycler
I
does have a stun setting.
so I could put that for like special, right?
Yes, that's your special. For the Force Pike, the special is so the Force Pike also has a stun setting,
Oh, really? That's awesome.
and it has a pierce of 2. And I can talk more about that if we do end up playing like an actual adventure of this. This has gone on a long time, so I think actual adventures will have to wait for another time.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So wait, do they have crits or is that just not?
They do have crits. So the Force Pike takes 2. So your crit is how many advantages you get. So if you get a net of 2 advantages, you crit on your Force Pike.
Okay.
And your Tuscan Cycler will take 3 advantages.
Okay. Awesome. Yay.
Woohoo! All right. So who wants to hear some weapons?
Me!
Okay. Do you want to start with
You should
melee
start-
or with ranged weapons?
Rain.
Ranged. Okay.
How come Kitty's not in this? She's a yandere. This is like
She was a little too nervous to get on, and she hasn't seen Star Wars like at all.
Josh, I am
So
very disappointed.
yeah, so when we get the opportunity to actually screen share, because screen sharing is a little difficult for her right now, when we get an opportunity to screen share, I'm going to be showing her every single episode of Star Wars.
Okay, okay.
Like that's just happening.
That's very helpful. Who's your? But wait. So Kitty, your girl?
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Good God, why? All right, so ranged and gunnery weapons.
Ooh.
So we'll start with some of your light range. So you got a holdout blaster.
Uh-huh.
Light blaster pistol.
Uh-huh.
You have a blaster pistol.
Uh-huh.
You have a heavy blaster pistol.
Uh-huh.
You have a blaster carbine.
Okay.
Blaster rifle.
Okay. That rifle sounds nice.
Heavy blaster rifle.
Okay, that one too heavy.
It's also too expensive.
Exactly.
So there are 4. There are 4 that are too expensive for you right now. So it'd be the heavy blaster rifle, the light repeating blaster, the heavy repeating blaster, and the bowcaster. Those and any type of disruptor pistol or disruptor rifle. I'm also just not going to allow anyone on the crew, at least for now, to have a disruptor.
Can we not have it? Can we not have one? That
Correct.
seems
Correct.
very
You cannot have. You are. I am not allowing anyone to have a disruptor.
What's a disruptor anyway?
So yeah. So story wise, in the canon, the current canon of Star Wars, disruptors were initially intended to, like basically fry all the electronics of the enemy.
Aww.
But
to me.
No. But what they were used for instead during some of the invasions that the Empire held on certain planets, they actually used the disruptors on organic life forms, And the only information we have is one of the survivors looking at someone and saying, "Do you know what that does to an organic life form? I've seen it. They cannot have these weapons."
That's
It's like,
scary.
it's so intense. But yeah, so disruptors are super scary, and they're also really expensive. So unless there's a reason in the story, if we do end up continuing to play the game, I'm really going to avoid people having disruptors. But yeah, so you also have an ionization blaster.
That sounds expensive.
It's actually not. It's less expensive than the blaster pistol. It's
Blaster pistols are tiny though.
hang on, I totally forgot. The ionization blaster is only something that can be built into a droid, so I don't think we have any droids, so that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
We also
that-
have a slug thrower pistol.
What's a slug thrower pistol?
Let me double check on this.
Again, you no, stop it.
Take my money. Take it.
Because like I have an image in my head, I just need to make sure I'm remembering correctly.
Okay. Bagels, you're kind of scaring me now.
Why?
Cause you're kind of giving me money out of nowhere, and you kind of proposed to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So the slug thrower is literally just like a normal weapon. So instead of energy blasts, it actually shoots bullets.
Oh, that one sounds fun. How much?
So it's only 100, and again, so these prices, I'm just going in my head of what I think you would be able to afford. I'm not really going on the hard prices. So it's
Oh, wait, we're
very
supposed to be
inexpensive.
able to afford these?
I want it.
But here's
I
the
want.
so here's the thing. It has no special, and it
Okay.
takes 5 advantages to crit.
Okay, I want
Okay, so do you want the pistol or the rifle?
pistol.
Pistol. All right, so you've got a good old-fashioned regular pistol.
Yay!
You can also get like a bola or a net, a flamethrower.
Flamethrower too much.
Yeah, flamethrower is too expensive. Missile tube is too expensive. You could get a couple grenades. There are frag grenades and stun grenades. Or you can go into the melee weapons for your other weapon.
Melee, please.
Melee.
We
So
are
I'm
going.
gonna skip over the brawl weapons because you're probably not gonna want to brawl. So melee weapon, you have a combat knife.
Ooh.
You have a gaffy stick. The gaffy sticks are the things that the Tusken Raiders were like hitting people with. That's a gaffy stick. You
Hold
have
on.
the force pike, which is what Bagels has.
Let me
Yay.
go shoot. Let me go look that up just cause
What, the gaffy
I
stick?
forgot all the weapons in Star Wars. Except for some.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up too, just so we have an image on the stream. But yeah, gaffy stick. It looks God. I had something for this.
Fuck.
It looks like a shower head. It looks like someone tore off a shower head and was like, "Weapon! Let's put pointy things on it."
Oh. Okay. I'm seeing Star Wars weapons here and I'm getting a little spook.
Little spook.
A little spook, but a little more shook.
So anyway, yeah. So gaffy stick, force pike. You can also get a truncheon, which that's the name for the little like nightstick that police officers use, little bats.
Ooh, those nightsticks. Those look cool.
Yeah, you know those little like mini bats that British
Yeah.
policemen carry around. That's a truncheon.
Yeah.
It's also one of those that has a very very high crit. There's a vibro knife, which is essentially like an electrified knife.
That sounds awesome.
There's a vibro axe and a
I'm
vibro
trying-
sword.
I'm trying to look at. Trying to see if I can find it. Okay. So melee weapons. All right.
Vibro sword.
Oof. Why the fuck do I do this to myself? I don't see anything. What was
For
it
what?
called again?
Which one? The vibro knife or vibro axe, vibro sword?
There's a vibro saw.
Look on the stream. I have some pulled up.
Yay! I don't have to die.
So yeah, they're all pretty similar. The vibro knife does the least damage. The vibro axe does the most out of those three. Other than that, they're mostly the same.
That sword look cool.
Let me pull up the vibro axe. So vibro axe looks kind of like that. So what were you?
Vibro axe.
Vibro axe.
Yeah, just because of the way it looks.
Yeah, it's really cool, and
Kind of
also,
looks like Nora's hammer, in a way.
I guess maybe a little bit, yeah.
I'm sorry. I had a reference towards Ruby!
Okay, so you ready for the stats on it then?
Yes.
Okay, so its damage is +3.
Okay.
It crits on 2 advantages.
Oh.
And it has a few different specials.
Oh, few different specials.
Okay, so you ready for the specials?
Yes.
It has Pierce 2.
Okay.
It has Sunder. I'll explain that in a bit. It has Vicious 3. And it requires 2 hands to wield.
Worth it.
I mean, it also only takes 2 advantages to crit on that.
I still take. It's a weapon. And it just looks like Nora's hammer. So.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm getting the exact definition of Sunder. 'Cause Sunder's a bit.
That's not Cinder. I said Nora.
No. Sunder is one of the qualities that vibro axe has.
Ooh, yep, Nora vibes.
Okay, so when activated, the attacker chooses one item openly wielded by the target, such as a weapon, shield, or item on the belt. That item is damaged 1 step. So basically, while you are attacking, you can choose if you have 1 or more advantage points available when you roll, you can use 1 or more of them to damage the opponent's equipment. Like, you're so vicious and you're attacking so hard that you actually damage something that they've done.
Oh.
So, you want to know the cool thing about that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's imagine you failed your roll. You
Oh.
didn't damage them.
Oh, fuck.
But you did have advantage. So even though you didn't do any damage to them, you can actually damage their equipment if you have advantage.
That seems fun.
Yeah, so that's one of the cool things about this system where, like, you have advantage. Oh, I missed, but, I damaged their armor, so they're not as well defended. So that's part of what's really cool about using this system, using rules for your role-playing. It makes the game really interesting. So that's really cool. I know we had a lot of people leave. Do we want to leave it there, or do we want to go over some more?
Depends on what's next, I suppose.
I mean, at this point, there's just like other equipment we can go over. Also, wait, hang on. Lady Saber, have you chosen weapons yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, what kind of weapons were you looking for?
I was looking for a long range rifle of some kind.
Okay.
Tuscan Cycler.
Well, she's a colonist, she's a scholar, so she'd probably go more for just an ordinary blaster rifle, or actually, let me see.
I mean, the Tuscan Cycler is modified by the Tuscans. So
It
it's
is, but I'm just giving it the
yeah.
yeah.
I know. It's seeing
Um,
those stats, but like in my heart, it's just cooler.
so okay, here's a question. Like I said earlier, the slug thrower rifle um, is like a normal rifle with bullets instead of energy blasts. You could do that, but it is cumbersome and it takes a lot to crit. Or you could go with the blaster rifle, like he did, or blaster carbine, which isn't a full rifle, but it's kind of like the blaster that the stormtroopers used in the original trilogy. The little like they're not quite full rifles, but they're more than just pistols. So do you want the rifle or the carbine?
I would rather have a rifle.
Okay.
The
I
longer
mean,
range, the better. Because I have a feeling my character is not going to be doing well if they get too close.
I mean that's fair. So you have a blaster rifle, and do you want any close range or like a holdout blaster or something like that?
I was just going to do a vibro knife for self defense.
Vibro knife.
Oh,
Okay.
if you wanted, there's this thing. I don't know. It's probably not listed, but like I just searched it up on like the Star Wars wiki. There's this thing called the DC-17 interchangeable weapon system. It
Say
just
that again. You kind of petered
the
out at the end.
DC-17 interchangeable weapon system. It's basically, you switch. It has two modes. So it's kind of
Oh
like a
right,
blaster
yeah.
rifle, but then it's also like, this like a regular blaster at the same time.
Yeah, so
So
some of the weapons have that kind of thing in the lore. I actually never knew the name of it. I just knew that weapons could do that.
yeah,
But yeah, so that's probably something that you can modify later in the future. Later in the future,
yeah.
that's redundant. Um,
Later in the future.
but later on in the game, if you wanted to, you could probably do stuff like that. But that would require you doing some crafting and some mechanics checks and stuff like that, or taking it to a mechanic, and it would take time to take care of, or a lot of money, things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Let's just stick with the blaster rifle. Is it possible over time to buy a different weapon if I
yeah.
wanted to upgrade like to a pulse rifle or something?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'll do the blaster rifle.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and then
So I've got the blaster rifle and the vibro knife.
yeah,
Have any of you watched Attack on Titan?
I do.
Yeah.
I just finished season 3.
Oh, nice. What did you think of the ending? Or have you read the manga?
I've not read the manga. I
Oh.
thought the end of season 3 was very bittersweet.
I watched the manga. Yes, let that.
yeah.
roll
I
through
watched
your
the
mind.
manga.
I watched the manga on YouTube.
That's how that works.
I'm not gonna say anything, but season 4 is gonna be. It's the last one.
Yep.
What?
Oh yeah, crap! I just went off on a complete.
No,
So
you're fine.
you know
I mean,
how,
other than that, there's just some basic equipment which we can. I'd
Yeah.
say let's go over that. If we do decide to continue with actually playing games, we can. I can put
Yeah.
together some kits that you'll have for your different characters and stuff like that. So I guess I'll worry about the equipment. Did you have any questions about how this works, or do you just want to wait until we actually start playing the game?
we can wait, but like my reference to Attack on Titan
Mm-hmm.
was mostly for like the first season. You know how like
Hold on.
that scene where they were trapped in the headquarters, they did a certain thing with the gun.
Oh right, yeah, that scene, the infamous.
So my
I'm in
question.
charge of the gas tanks. Tink, tink.
Yeah. My question is, what happens if I like do that with my my rifle with it on stun mode? Because like nobody ever like shot into someone's head with like the stun. What does that do?
So the way that stun works in the Star Wars universe is it creates so it's less of a beam or a bolt and it's more of a ray. So it'd be the same as I mean it'd be very strong and you if you did it right at your head, you would potentially do damage or even kill yourself.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering about that, because like you never see anybody in Star Wars do like suicide like normal people. They like do the whole fancy stuff like putting it to your ears.
Yeah.
Oh, this went dark. Yeah.
It went really dark, and I think that's a great place to end this stream on. I'm just to anyone who's still watching, why? If no one is actually watching, we might be doing an actual campaign with this if I figure out how to.
Corral the people.
What happened when I left?
I am checking. I am the one. I'm the one viewer we have.
Yeah, you're the only viewer left.
I'm
but,
the one viewer times 3 because I'm on all 3 of them.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. This was just us having fun and talking about Star Wars because I wanted an excuse to talk about this. So
I think everybody knew that.
Hmm?
I think everybody knew that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We just went along with it because we also wanted to talk about Star Wars.
I mean that's fair enough. Anyway, bye bye.